young because men have an opportunity if they don't in their home to continue to. That's how the topic. To continue to grow. Like to me, that's how I see the topic going. Or if someone has other examples of how Black men can work together, because this is an example of how Black men probably shouldn't work together, and we should probably push past this.
I have a prime example of how Black men work together. We had 87% of us that worked together during this last presidential election. You have to understand this propaganda machine that is part of the division and psychological and analyzing they're doing as a community to us as a community. Me as a community engaged and it goes through his neighborhood and institutes types of community engagement programs that helps people communicate, not just Black people, but all people together. But as this myth that Black men don't work together is something that we definitely need to try to work to eliminate. Because like I say, it's not true. We have several examples of Black men working with other Black men to make our society better.
I don't think Black men are ever going to work together until we as men take back our community, and we take our balls back from women who have our balls in their purse.
What?
You gotta let me finish. You gotta let me finish.
You have a woman.
It's the you just gave a great example, and then he comes and tells us to give him his balls back.
Nobody's giving him respect.
Please, y'all stop responding to that.
I'm gonna answer the question.
It's like having a.
I'm gonna ask.
No, let me give it a.
Let
me give a quick example. It's like a child. It's like a child being on the spectrum that wants a lot of attention. They may be neurodivergent,
and I know
you give them the negative attention, and they continue to go down that path. So what we're gonna do is what we're gonna do.
Calm down, man. Calm down.
What we're gonna do is ignore.
Calm down. Miss Please stop, y'all. Please stop. I want to go to show.
He's a moderator. You're being disrespectful.
Just calm down. I know, but Denali, when you might calm down, man, you know how to.
But I was making.
I know, but that means just
he muted me every time I started speaking.
Come on, do we?
It goes both ways, Mr. Denali.
Well, if I was
calm down, y'all. Just come on, calm. Do we have to do the hot potato?
And I love you. Hey, Con, you're trying to do this little in between thing, and I love you to death, Con. But sometimes you need to just let somebody who does not mind speaking. What I'm saying.
That's not the purpose of this. We got to let everybody talk.
Yeah, why?
So they can all air out their feelings. That's kind of the problem. We don't want people
because you don't agree with.
Hold on for 1 second.
Hold on to that. I'm trying to have your back. You're not helping.
Hold on, Con. Let me get my point out because you didn't even listen to my point. Did you hear me say that he has the right to speak earlier? Did you see me step in to say we understand who he is? So for you to say that, that means you're not listening to me.
No,
hold on for 1 second.
Reiterated what you said.
No, that's not my point. It wasn't even feedback for him. What I'm saying is this. We got to stop being so triggered to somebody who wants us to be triggered. So if he says something outlandish, listen to me, y'all. If he says something outlandish, this is not our panel, right? So you just ignore and then you comment to the person that's making sense to you, and eventually he will move on.
She is smart. Come on, she is smart.
She's so
that was a slick move.
She is. She just helped me out with my homework.
She is smart.
Noted.
That was a slick move. Everybody got clapped.
Why is it that when I
you got the floor, Denali? Just let him get the floor.
Anyway, I'm going to ask a question to Corey. Who do you think runs the Black community? Who's in charge? Who's in lead? Is it Black men or Black women?
Hold on. Let Corey come on.
Who the fuck cares?
Real quick.
Like I really want to know.
Let Corey come on. We're gonna try and keep it civil.
Why is he so triggered by the question? It's a simple question. You think it doesn't matter?
Denali, I think it's a combination of both.
So when we
answer, I think it's both because it's 2026.
So who goes to the door first, Black men or Black?
Question directly and not wait for my answer. Well, I have decorum.
So long to answer, and then he butted in.
Well, I have decorum. I try to wait for everyone to stop speaking.
Well, I asked you specifically a question.
My answer would be almost what commentary said. I believe it's both because in my household, I don't make decisions without my wife's approval. It's a co-equal branch in our house. There is no superior to it. So when you ask who runs the Black community, I would ask you specifically, what is the Black community? Because within my community, I have a diverse range of races.
It's out of order.
My community engagement program
is out of order. You go to an Italian community
within my home. As an individual, my wife treats me as a king. But in turn, I treat her as a queen. So we have equal authority. There is no one superior. This white supremacist ideology that you keep trying to spread is something I'm trying to break our people of.
When you have a company, there's a president and then a vice president. There aren't co-presidents.
Family is not.
There's a board. There's usually a board or something. No, stop. There are department heads that are experts.
And then a vice president.
I was trying.
That way.
I wasn't speaking when Daniel started speaking. What are you doing?
You can't have co.
As a man that has been married for 20 years with a successful family with prominent children, how the fuck are you think you gonna tell me how to?
Because I was married too, sir. I know what it's like as well, sir. I'm asking you a simple question. You can't have co-leaders.
You are not leading your family to the
co-leaders. Tell me a successful company has co-leaders. Tell me
every single company. Okay, then let's do this. Then let's do this. Here we go. Let's try this. Now here's an example. Here's an example. I'm answering you to be quiet and allow me to answer. Then Denali,
allow me to answer.
I'm answering your question. Just be quiet while I do it.
Backfire. Let them have it. You go on mute, girl. Don't stress yourself out. Just stop.
Yeah, Denali. Here's an example. Denali, just be quiet. You don't need to speak while I'm answering you. You don't need to answer while I'm speaking. Now here's the issue. Almost every corporation, I'm answering your question. I need to be quiet while I'm answering your question. Almost every Fortune 500 company has co-leaders. One, they have boards, they have shareholders meetings, they actually have specific actual calls regarding this to actually have oversight regarding this. Not to mention you have department heads, subject matter experts who actually do this, who actually help in leading. Not just one single person makes that decision in almost every single publicly traded company you can imagine. They are actually things that are enforced by law or their own actual freaking bylaws. That is how that works. Even our government works this way. That's why we have co-equal branches, essentially enumerated powers to Congress, and then there's ones for regarding enforcement, regarding executive, and then everything else is essentially the judiciary as the referee. They actually do this. That is how that works. And there's ways in order to actually enforce one way or the other, but you can't do it from both. You can't do it from any two. That is how that works. That is called federalism.
Are there co-equal branches within your family? Do you let your children help decide what the fuck you gonna do with their livelihood? No.
I'm trying to point out that.
So it's a stupid analogy. It's dumb.
I'm simply trying to point. No, I'm trying to point out that he was talking about how you actually have. I'm simply trying to point out he's asking about whether or not it's just one person making decision making and they're a king or whatever, and they get to just make a unilateral.
That's because he ain't got no woman in his house to regulate his emotions and tell him what's right and wrong.
There's no.
That's why
and the wildest part.
Know me, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Denali, the crazy part is, I have been married. I've been with my wife since I was 14 years old. I met her at a baseball game with my brother and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to know what I'm trying to point out is that in this sort of thing, this is a way that you ask for an example of any company that does this. I was pointing out that basically, I originally pointed out the portion regarding the companies. Almost every publicly traded company works that way. The model I just described regarding the board and all that type of stuff, and all those things, making those decisions and how that works, they can even get rid of the CEO if they can actually do so. So when you're talking about this, none of what you said is actually true for almost every company you can imagine, especially the most successful ones.
Okay. Whatever you guys
So
say.
now tell me, is anything I said untrue about those companies?
Listen, Daniel. First of all, I said what I said. You can agree with me or not. It doesn't matter.
No, you need to actually comport with reality.
First of all, I don't need to. Why do you think I need to do anything because you say it?
Because if you're not making any sense, then we don't.
That's fine.
Because
why would you?
Because it's basic.
Let me ask
It's
you a
epistemology.
It's
basic epistemology.
Why would you
ask the question? I'm answering it because it's called epistemology.
Why would
basically the science of figuring out what actually right looks like? Essentially, what is most likely true. I'm answering your question. You happen to be here. You were here before I got here. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I'm not pretending that this is my
He's the
fridge.
smartest
I'm
guy in the
simply
room.
This is what you would have liked over me, for real.
Denali. All I'm doing is trying to Denali.
Thank you, Corey, for the
Denali.
joke.
All I
That
was
a
trying to
good one.
point out is that you asked for an example of companies that do this. I'm pointing out that almost
No, that's
every
something
publicly
to
traded
say
company
when you land,
does.
Daniel.
The question I asked is,
Can I say something real quick?
The question I asked was, what company that is successful has co-leaders? That's what I asked. Not
I
about
don't think
board,
this. I don't think the prompt is about
co-leaders.
companies.
Ben and Jerry's.
I don't think the
Ben and Jerry's.
prompt is not about companies
Google.
or business. So putting that aside, to answer the prompt, if I can say this real quick, until a bunch of us can get together, because I don't think it's just about Black men, it's also about Black women as well. Why is it when more than one of us are gathered, like in the prompt picture, someone's looking for security? So until we can get together, respect each other's differences, and not do a display of what we've been shown. Thank you, P, because P to me gave a perfect example on how to just let that person subside. We need more people like P to be intercessors where we can get along, because I'm sick of when you see a gathering like that, what are most 9 times out of 10 people doing? Looking for security. And y'all mentioned fraternities, and I have a cousin who's a firefighter. They get together every year and they give toys to the kids and stuff like that. Of course, you're not going to need security, but 9 times out of 10, you see a gathering like that prompt, we're looking for security. Until we can answer that question, the problem is going to continue.
That's
Can I
programming.
just add?
I was just gonna say, well, I was just gonna, you can go ahead right after me. I was just gonna say, I've already assessed that within our society, especially within our community. I speak about it every time I get on TikTok. We talk about white supremacist ideology and the indoctrination of our entire society. The deprogramming and deconstructing of these things are what's gonna help us first start that. And you do that by action. Like I say, when you do community engagement, you learn that people in your community may not look the same, but they have very similar struggles and very similar problems. And they see the same solutions, like our youth, mentorship programs, and investing in our youth, understanding and educating our youth to the knowledge that we have. Those are things that actually can progress us forward as men as well, because I know I've touched several men within my community just from the engagement that I've done, and the examples of showing them there's better ways to show our children how to be better.
And I just want to add to that, because a good point was brought up when you say, I just say what's on my mind. That is a part of a community behavior. So when you have young Black men, because that's what we're speaking about, and they just say, well, I can just say whatever I want to say, because it's on my mind, and you don't take in discipline and understanding that there's a time and a place and a season for everything, and you think it's okay to just say that, especially as a Black man, you're gonna face trouble. But I don't want people to forget about the good that's going on in the community, like the LeBron James school that graduated 99.9% of his Black students. And as a Black man, he teamed up with other Black men and made this school happen, and it's being successful. So when we say it's not happening, I'm confused.
But he teamed up with the
But I'm from Akron.
but it is beneficial because
But he teamed up with the school. But I mean, but it is beneficial because not only does it give the children a place to go to school, but even some poor parents, they got an apartment, and all the children who do get to graduate go to Akron Youth.
Expect LeBron to make the kids.
It is good. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to take the good. You can't expect LeBron to make the kids learn. You know what I'm saying? But he's placed
Denali. Earlier he asked what companies. Is Denali ever going to answer my response? Because earlier he asked what companies. I gave him the example. I pointed out that almost every publicly traded company does that thing. He says, how can it happen? I'm pointing out that it happens in almost every single case. Can he ever address that? Because his only response that he gave didn't make any sense. He said, essentially, I said what I said, as in, I don't care that that's not true. I still believe it. That's paraphrasing what he said, but essentially it's true. He said, I don't care that that's not true. I believe it anyway.
No one's gonna answer that.
That was his response. Y'all heard it,
Why,
right?
why are we back here? No one's gonna answer
I'm
that.
just trying to understand why Denali
And that
didn't.
there lies the problem.
It was like a couple minutes ago.
We can't let stuff go.
And said what successful?
It was like a couple minutes ago.
Denali asked him
Wow.
a question and said, "What successful business?"
But
has
we
more
had
than one
moved on, Fafa.
Hold
This
on.
is a prime
What?
example of why we can't go forward.
He's asking Denali, "Do you understand the structure of the businesses I named?" He's not asking Denali about his personal self.
But I had changed the tone. La had moved on, and Daniel brought it right back to square one. Am I the only one seeing that shit?
Oh my God.
It was 4 minutes ago.
Because remember, I was saying,
You guys,
Do-
The thing.
do you remember?
How can you leave one black
Thank you, La.
And black
But
men.
no, I want to ask you a question. How can we?
Address black men as a community. Commentary, you're absolutely right. They don't need to go back over that. Daniel, it's senseless. I say it's not helping progress us
Yeah, I don't
as
think-
men.
When someone shows you themselves, believe them. It's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to mute up.
Oh, you think you have such great things to say? You're so profound. Oh my God.
And now,
Anyway,
guess what,
that was
Daniel?
Maya
You started
Angelou.
it back up.
Listen.
That was
All I
my
said-
We've got to do better, y'all.
Again, you guys think that, listen, I think the men should be in the lead in the community. You guys don't think that.
Why?
You want some hybrid.
Hybrid. You need to watch yourself because you coming out sideways. What is hybrid? You need to watch yourself because you coming out sideways and you ain't proving
What do
nothing.
you mean? What's wrong? You guys want some kind of mixture. You guys want. Well, why are you talking when I'm
Oh,
talking?
hold on, let her finish because I want to hear this. Like,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back on mute. You guys continue.
no, you won't.
Come on, y'all.
What do you say? You want some type of what now?
That'll be a blessing.
Come
He believes that
on,
men
y'all.
should be. He said he believes that being a male somehow makes you automatically. He was saying that men should be in the lead, and I'm asking why. Why? What about being male
Here's a
makes
better-
you automatically deserving of leadership?
Here's the question. Do you guys think that men should
I thought
be
he was going on mute.
Go ahead, what
Lord,
we-
I just
Why are you talking?
Calm down, y'all. Calm down. Calm down.
Lord, I just gave him thanks. What happened?
I just asked him a question. What about
let him
being
answer,
male
y'all. Come on,
makes it
let's-
so that somebody's in automatic
So,
deserves
if
to
I'm
be in leadership?
understanding correctly,
I think
people on this
that
panel
leadership
do not think that men should lead the black
large
community,
gender.
right?
I think that the
automatically,
best
no.
leader should lead the black community.
Okay,
Even
that's fine.
Large gender.
Well, I think the best male should be the leaders.
Let's say the best of the
Even
best.
if they, okay, let's say
said the
they are the
best
best.
male.
Let's say the best of the
male.
best.
And I asked why.
That are male. I don't
Even if you're
think that women should be in the lead in the black community. I don't think so.
Even if
And
they're
I
like,
asked why.
yeah, that's weird.
That's fine. I'm a traditional guy, conscious or
And
not.
You're not a
asked you
traditional
why.
guy. You only attract.
I just asked
you
you why.
only attract women who
Hold
obey
on,
you.
y'all,
That's why
hold
that
on,
white
hold on.
woman gifted you. You only attract certain
What white
type of
Stop,
women.
man. Stop, y'all. Though. Come on.
What does that got to do with anything?
Oh, trust
I
me,
just
because
wanna
they're
know
willing to
why.
bow down. They're not willing to show their excellence and actually
I know.
execute. It doesn't matter if you're a
Come
man
on,
or a
y'all.
woman.
Come
You
on,
can
let's-
lead. You can lead.
That's why 1 in 4 black women.
You couldn't even hear me because you just kept talking. That's what I'm saying. It's
Black
pointless to be
women
on a
now.
panel with
The
you.
rest of y'all ring fingers are dry as fuck.
Denali, you're not married.
I asked him why.
You're divorced.
I just asked
I
him
was
why.
married.
Sunday.
And it failed
Is
just
that an
like
unfair
you.
question?
Well,
Come
well,
Does
on,
anybody
y'all.
think that that's an
You don't
unfair
know.
This
question?
Sunday
what
look,
happened?
that R. Kelly didn't help at all.
My
I just asked.
my wife. I could be a widow.
It is.
You don't have a wife. You don't have a wife. Now, once again, I asked you a question. Denali.
No,
It is his
You
fault.
said that
Daniel,
men should be in the
Daniel,
leadership. I
I'm
asked
done
you why.
talking to you.
You can't answer my question.
So if
Because
you
you
want
can't
to
answer
talk,
my
talk to
question?
somebody else.
Okay, we can.
Because you can't answer my question.
I don't want
Is
to
the
answer your
reason?
question.
Why
You
do
have
you
an answer.
You guys think that
You have an answer that makes
you
sense.
guys don't think that men should be in the lead in the community. That's fine. That's your opinion.
Then
I
tell
disagree
everybody
with
else.
it.
No.
Yes.
Not
Don't
automatically. I'm
tell me
asking
no,
you
no,
why.
no. Again,
Hold on a
asked
second.
why.
Let me ask him a question. Y'all. Let me ask
It could be a man.
Denali,
Would you rather have a bad man?
what does it matter if the best person, like it could be a man, or would you rather have a bad man as a leader versus a good woman, even though the
no,
man
I
is just a
said the
man?
best. I said the best male should be the leader. That's what I said.
But okay,
if you listen, conscious. If you want your woman, if you're married, to be the lead in your household, that's your part. That's your business. I'm telling you what I think should happen.
At the end of the day,
I'm not
Are you
saying
gonna let
how
your
you
woman
run
be
your
the
house.
lead in
Why
your
wouldn't that be
household?
At the end of the day, he technically is right. How
Conscious,
he
are you
runs
gonna
his-
let your woman lead you in your
I
household?
think that my woman would
it just sounds
It's
so
either yes or
crazy.
no.
No, because I wouldn't think that my woman would even think
Wouldn't it
that
be
she had to.
situational?
You said no.
No, this
Wouldn't
is my
that be
thing. I don't think
conscious?
my
Wouldn't
woman.
that be situational?
Yeah, like that's so weird for you to say lead me.
Okay,
Like she's a
conscious.
grown woman and I'm a
Okay,
grown
great.
man. We shouldn't be
Conscious.
leading each other. We should be kind of
Conscious.
advising
I
or
got you.
counseling
Conscious.
with each other. Now hold on, because I let you get it up. But this is what I'm saying. If my like take example, if my woman is better at doing the taxes and handling the money, you know what I'm doing?
going to
Babe,
She's
it's
gonna
you.
handle that.
Yeah, so why like I'm gonna gate I'm going to delegate
me, then that's cool.
who's
According
best
to
at
skill.
leading something. If it's my
According
girl,
to
then
skill.
cool. If it's me, then that's cool. But we
According
gonna
to
work
skill.
together and assess
Like
that,
if you
right?
better at it,
According to skill, you're gonna delegate and say, well, listen, I'm
No,
not
we
getting
are.
somebody.
Like, if you better at it, and if she know, because that's why I brought up the taxes. That my girl, she knew a lot more about taxes, and I was losing money. She set me down, and said, "Yo, this is how we gonna get you more money."
you know, so
That's
Do you
smart.
think I started listening to her after that about money?
So let me ask you
You
this
know,
question.
so it's that type of shit. Like, if you
You're
know more in the
married.
relationship, I'ma listen. If
I
I
got
know
you.
more, you should shut up and listen
It
too. You know what I mean?
depends on skill. It depends on skill, right? And knowledge.
a woman, if she has
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Why would
Yeah.
you
What if she has-
negate
what if she has-
a woman if she
said
has more
that?
knowledge than the best man? What if
I
she has
never-
just? What if
I
she
just
has more
said
knowledge
that.
than the best man?
Whoever has
We
the
just
ability to lead, not a man or a woman. We just said that 3 different times.
I said that the men should be in the lead and they can delegate based on skill and knowledge.
So you
So
lack the
then why
knowledge,
would a
but you're
woman
the
be able
leader.
to do that though, Denali?
And I asked him
That's what
why.
I'm saying.
That's a really basic
What's wrong
question.
with this man?
That's a serious question.
Because
I
it-
asked
I'm
it
not
just seems a
talking
little
to you anymore,
contradictory.
Daniel, so stop talking to me.
No, I think
It's
it's
a
because
basic
if we're
question.
talking about
I
it's
don't care if it's a
skills.
complicated question. I'm not talking to you any longer, Daniel.
Mr.
Why not?
Dennis, where are you getting this ideology from? Is it biblical?
I've been respectful to him this entire
I
time. Why is he
lived
not
it,
willing to
ma'am.
engage?
Ma'am, I lived it. I know what I'm talking
Is it
about.
biblical
Okay.
though? You just getting
Well,
it from
first of all,
you.
if you want to go with the Bible, isn't it God,
No,
husband,
I'm asking
wife,
you.
children?
No, it's
If you want to go biblical,
They are equal. They
no,
are
they're
made
not.
from the rib. They are
The Bible-
subordinate. They are not one over the
Hold
other.
on. Let me ask this question. It's not God, husband, wife, children?
What?
Sir, it states in the Bible
It's
that
God,
you
the
should
husband
submit
and wife
one
on
to
one
another.
equal
No,
level,
they're
and then
not.
the children.
You're wrong.
Not to mention that's not ethical
What?
or moral. Not to mention
It
that's not
says
ethical at
submit
all.
one to another. Does it
The
not? in the
wife
It does not
Bible?
say
to the
bow
husband.
down and kiss his feet.
Ma'am, the wife submits to the husband submits to God.
No.
And there
That's
are
not true.
So he
sir.
doesn't
It
submit to
says-
his
No.
wife?
Come on.
No,
he's not
the
actually.
wife
He's not
submits
actually
to the
accurate. He's
husband,
not
the husband
They
actually
both
accurate.
submit to
That's
God.
not what
Come
the
on, y'all,
Bible
one at a
says.
time,
Wrong. I'm about
please.
to leave.
Denali, that actually isn't true. First off, there are provisions. There are actually exceptions that are laid out. For example, a woman doesn't have to submit to her husband if he, for example, beats her. If he actually abandons
talking
her.
about-
There
you're
are
talking
no,
about
stop.
exceptions.
I'm
No,
addressing.
don't tell me to stop.
And those exceptions
Well, you
are
the
still
one keep
part of it.
interrupting people.
Well,
You
I'm
want
the
to
one that said
ignore the
something.
exceptions. Denali, I'm trying to point out that you are speaking about this in generalities and in absolutes, and I'm
Well,
pointing
yeah,
out that
you
there
don't
are
believe in
exceptions and that because it's
Why
actually
not?
situational ethics are because situational ethics are the only
Is it generally
ethics
true
because
that
I'm
a college
addressing
graduate's gonna earn more than a high school
Denali.
graduate?
I get to finish my entire
Is that
actual
generally
response.
true?
I'm
That's
pointing
not generally
out
true
what-
that a college
no,
graduate's
it's
gonna
not
earn
because
more than a
exceptions
high school
because
graduate?
exceptions are what
Get the
actually
fuck-
negate
the
an absolute.
exceptions don't disprove
Because
the rule,
except-
Daniel.
I'm pointing out that the exceptions make a generality
They
actually
don't
null and
disprove
void.
the rule.
I'm pointing out that the exceptions
The
make an
rule is that if you're a
absolute.
college
in the-
graduate, you're going to earn more than a high school graduate.
on average, and the exceptions.
That's a
And when you
generality.
Denali, stop for a second,
That's
please.
fine. This is why she
I'm
told you
trying
in
to
the
point out-
beginning to take it back because it's now the Denali show.
He always
It's fine.
he has the
Yeah,
Conscious, I'm going to talk to you guys
No,
later.
Denali.
He always he let me have
Send
a
a few
conscious
points
show,
to
but
the
in the middle of my sentence.
Send some coins for the shreds. Thank you.
Yeah, Denali, I'm simply trying to point out that
Well,
one, if you make a general statement, If you made a general statement that a college graduate will make more than a high school graduate, for example, what about a person who never went to college, but say, for example, owns a construction?
He gone. He gone.
Thank God.
Daniel. Now, can we move this conversation forward as
Wait a
black
minute.
Oh, I think you might have
as black men? Can
Well,
we
y'all
try
got me up here for.
Oh, I think you might have accidentally requested
think
me
about
to drop you down.
solutions for our
Thank you
community?
for coming out.
Yeah, take me down. Y'all sit up here listening to Denali. Oh, I didn't mean to cut the gentleman off. He don't like his own mother.
That's what I'm saying. It's the misogyny for me, like all the way around. And talking about a wife is supposed to be submissive to their husband and stuff. Yeah, well, what if that husband is sitting there beating his wife and children? The wife is still supposed to be submissive? I think the fuck not.
Well, he's gone now, so maybe you can give your perspective of how you think it should go or whatever, or we could just talk about the topic. I told y'all he was gonna move on. He loved the attention y'all was giving him.
I would love to talk about some positive solutions.
If I can just,
Oh yeah,
if I can just quickly reference something so
I
that
got
the
a
information
PowerPoint for
is
that. You want to get
okay.
it? Sorry.
So that the information is not being misinterpreted. Anybody who reads their Bible and sees the word men, that is Semitic language. That is a conversion of an alternate language. They spoke in a manly form. That does not mean it excludes the woman from the entire Bible. That's misinformation. So that's crazy.
And the thing is,
Thank you.
when they were speaking about that, that would be mankind. They were talking about both genders. And the thing is, when they talked about that, it also had, it actually spoke about whether or not you were actually still had your maidenhead, whether or not you were married, all these sort of things. Age was actually a factor of all of this, which is why they had 8 genders, for example, regarding this, because they actually kept into account all of those. They didn't check chromosomes. They didn't do any of that sort of stuff. It was about all those other details that were observable in society or just as observable with your eyes, those things. And they basically had a tiered system. It wasn't just one or the other. It didn't work that way. But hey, he doesn't want to engage with that because how dare we actually pull him back to himself and say, this doesn't make any sense.
He wants to take it back to the 1950s. like honestly, that's what he's sitting there talking about, is taking it back to the 1950s. And I think like for a healthy marriage or relationship, it should be equal on being submissive to both each other, as well as equal in making the decisions inside the household. How is a household going to sit there and run when you only have one person that thinks they're in charge? And we already know when people sit there and get that type of power, that power carries on into narcissistic ways.
Say you have a man and a woman. I'm trying to figure out, like, say you have a man and a woman who are married. And this is a perfectly acceptable, or this would happen in reality. If you had, for example, a man and a woman who are married, and the wife is the third most successful financial planner in the world, and the husband is a hardworking man. He makes 7 figures, but the thing is, it's something where it's a salary, not something where he's, and he's not really great when it comes to that sort of thing. But he's a manager, that sort of thing. If he makes 6 figures, whatever. Now the thing is, are you telling me that he's supposed to delegate these things to her when it comes to the finances? All right, but nothing else? No, you think that that's the only thing? And it would make no sense that he's the one that gets the end all beat all of that whole thing. And if so, I'm asking, why is that? If you're talking about expertise, but somehow it matters what's in your pants. Make that make sense. And that's when he kept saying, well, I'm not talking to you anymore. Not one that was going to basically have him. Because he didn't have an answer. That's what I think. He didn't have an answer. Not one that was going to basically have him have the moral high ground, or was going to make him look really bad.
Can I say this as a man?
I agree with you, Daniel.
Can I say this as a man? Not having with you a partner to make your decisions, to make your decision with you, a black man is stress. It will stress you out. And think about the number one unaliver of a black man is stress and anxiety. And think about this: your whole family is relying on you to survive. Basically, you don't understand. You can't rely on your wife. Your wife is basically she's basically playing the midwife. You can't rely on your kids because they're too young. So all you got is yourself. Now, here's the thing though. If you have a partner that's saying, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how you should do it. This basically, this is right for our family. This way is this way. And y'all negotiate with communication. y'all will have a better functioning marriage, let alone a better functioning family. It takes more than a one single cog to run a whole motherfucking machine.
If we can't even expand that further, referencing the prompt, I feel identical to that same information. You can't have just men running everything or just women running everything. You have to look at the expertise. Who is great in this aspect? Okay, you handle this. Who is great in this? Build. Not putting it in an you handle that. That is how we find a way to build. Not putting it in a superior mindset that a man has to do it. Hence the fact that we had a difficult time in our country with seeing a woman run the country. We have to come out of that ideology or we'll never really reach the angles that we're able to truly reach.
Shows how right you are. Yeah, and
that
the
was a
craziest part is the
presidential speech.
historical records and the historical record actually shows how right you are. Here's something that a lot of people don't realize about just basic like world history. All right, do you know the only Roman monarch, the only actual like leader to actually defeat the Roman Empire was like
a woman.
Was a woman. An Irish woman, Celtic named Boudicca with Rome. Like no joke. Essentially, it was like Braveheart. She came back. Her husband and her son went to negotiate with Rome. They were unalive, and then she came back like a freaking dungeon dragon. And rather than get soundly defeated and Rome basically become Irish, they built a wall. The Emperor of Rome, Hadrian, built a wall. That's called Hadrian's Wall. That's the whole King Arthur, that big wall that you basically see on in the Highlands and all that type of stuff. That's literally what it exists. She was whooping their behinds because Rome unalived her husband and her sons, and she came back and fought on the battlefield,
modern day,
like an Amazon. It was crazy.
But Daniel, what do you think? Let's do modern day. What do you think single moms have to go through when the Section 8 gets cut? There's no jobs available, depending on where you're at. Not all places where the jobs are already available. And guess what? Her food stamps. She happened to miss that date, so now she has to reapply. But she doesn't have a way to get there. All that out and make sure.
Yeah.
What you just described is the same thing that single moms have to go through and figure all that out and make sure at the end of the day, her kids are fed in their head and pillow and they're tucked in.
This whole there are reasonable criticisms that a lot of men have. Like I'll be the first to admit, I was this whole MRA sort of thing, men's rights activists, right? I was susceptible to a lot of stuff that they said. There's stuff that's happened in my life that I might have been upset with my wife over adequacy. But the thing is, when I simply just based on the reality of it, there are situations where men may have be in the jackpot or a situation, that sort of thing, laws that might be on the books or rules that actually. But the thing is, that doesn't change the realities of the majority of these situations, because we're talking about a situation where like men talking about child support or regarding issues of paternity and
men go through it too. That's why it's called the concrete jungle. It's
Yeah.
tough out there. The struggle is real. So excuse me, and this
but they
is
don't
not-
get to prey on women.
But so I'm trying to
But they shouldn't be
understand,
allowed to
why
prey
are
on
you talking about medieval days and stuff like that? I don't personally give a darn about that.
No, I'm just what I'm trying to point out is that he's talking about how men.
Yeah,
I was just trying to point out that I was just trying to say that this idea that men are automatically better at it or that they should be. I'm pointing out that each one their ability, that sort of thing, and he doesn't care about that. He cares about each one of what's in your potatoes, and that's what he's arguing for. And I asked why, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to talk. It's wild. If you had the goods, if you had the answer that made sense, you would have told us. He would have told us, but he wouldn't engage with that at all. He suddenly shut down. And that's
But why have you let him build a small condo in your brain? Like why?
I'll forget him. I will forget him before I grab my freaking bagel.
I pray you do.
All right, Marshall wanted to come up and say something real quick. What would you like to say?
I think it needs to be had more.
I respect this conversation. I think it needs to be had more, and it also leads into the fact that we have to have a strong family base that we did. The only thing I would say about biblical or history, biblically, you had Deborah. Deborah was a judge in the biblical times. She was one that could throw a javelin further than any man. And men would wanted her to go into battles with them, such as Barak, and that's biblical. You had Esther, you had all those. So women were relevant all the way back into biblical times. That's the only thing I'll say about that. One of the things that I was listening to Denali, and I was listening to the young lady that just spoke. Basically, was saying you're not going to get him past a certain point, so you got to move on. We got to learn how to move on. What I pray for our all you young babies, and I don't mean no disrespect because y'all are all adults. I just say young babies. It's just a old Southern term. Much respect. But let me tell you one thing about my Boaz. Now, I'm not married now, okay? But the one thing about the man leading the house, because for me, I don't want no punk in my house. Let me say that. I don't want no punk in my house. But what I mean by that is I don't want an indecisive man. So he's a fighter. One of the things for us that works for us, and it might not work for everybody. One of the things is when he's the provider, I recognize him as the king. He comes in the bed to me. But the thing about it is when we decide to make decisions or he makes the decisions, he comes in the bedroom to me because I'm the strategist. Do y'all understand that? He'll come up with a concept, but when, well, baby, we need some money. We might need to go to the bank to get a loan to start this business. We don't have to go to the bank. He has to come in the bedroom. Because I'm the strategist, and that's what makes it work. Now, because he's oftentimes he's not going to go without my advice on something. And sometimes because he's comfortable in who he is as a man, he'll allow me to lead. That is the most powerful structure of a Black family. And even when it comes, I believe in a Black family power structure. I love it. I love to see it. And even when it comes to and I'll land here, even when it comes to the political part, not so much because I didn't vote for Donald Trump, a Black woman. And me as a Black woman, not so much because of Kamala being, a Black woman. I was actually on her team when she ran the first time. But the thing about it is what's going to protect my children, what's going to protect the children, all children of the future, the resources that we deserve to have because we pay into our tax dollars. So it unnerves me when I hear a Black man voting for someone we know that played with children. I'm not going to go further into that. And so there would be a divide, for quite some time. We have had in the Black community structure, we have folks that we call contrarian. They see things a different way. Some of them will vote for a certain person for money because they think they have arrived. All of these different things. But each woman. That's all I wanted to say. It is about a strong family structure, and it's about each woman, a woman and a man, feeling comfortable in themselves where they're not intimidated in the house by their spouse. And guys, thank you for allowing me to talk. I love the conversation. God bless you. Keep having it, especially the Black family structure. You're gonna have to talk about this thing. How do we come back together as a community when we know there are some people out there that if Harriet Tubman were alive today, she would have pulled a pew-pew on.
All right. Before we move on to the next person who's speaking, thank you so much, Ms. Marshall, for coming up and having a conversation. You said some great things. I wanted to take this opportunity to ask everybody who's able to tap, because I know we get pretty busy, to tap the screen if you can, because that'll help Con Lie get pushed out. I also noticed that he only has one heart me, and that was from me. For whatever reason, TikTok has this way of needing to do hold up for 1 second, y'all. My neighbor done pulled up. I'm out in the yard. Just tap the screen, do the heart me, do all the things. He has a gift goal. Please send that gift goal. All right.
Wonderful message. Thank you, Miss P, for the heart. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Only if the rest of the chat could be like you. We have a wonderful I'm messing with you. You guys are the greatest chat ever, man. Appreciate you.
What's going on, man?
Seriously.
My fault.
Set your heart me goal.
And if anybody else would like to chime in, BX, what's going on, man? I didn't even see you.
Reset your heart me goal. You had already reached it, and everyone that came in before they were allowed to come on the panel had a heart me. I'm just saying that's not how nobody. I'll drop back down.
That is reset.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's not how it. Nobody is in here on the panel that didn't send a heart me. Everybody sent it. You just reset your goal so it reset your heart and goal. That's all.
Well, I was just saying, there's a person in the comments that might want to come up. Kenneth?
Who was saying something?
Well, I was just saying, there's a person in the comments that might want to come up, Kenneth, because he's making assumptions that if they're relevant, somehow you can't comment about the dynamic.
I would like, I had invited the lady in the comments, but in the meantime, is there anyone else that would like to provide historical structure where we were able to see both genders execute and roles of leadership and change that community or vicinity in which they were in?
You mean here in America or like in Africa?
No, period. Across the board.
Had a chance to talk beside me.
Oh yeah, BX. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just listening. It's been an interesting conversation. For me, the phrases that bother me, I'm more or less go by terminology, phrases that bother me. Like, I don't need to feel like a king in a relationship. I hate those words, king, submit. Those words, to me, that no. If I'm in a relationship with you, we're in a partnership. We're gonna work together. There's some things that I'm gonna do better. There's some things that you're gonna do better. And if you could do it better, my ego doesn't get. This is about ego for what now. It's about his ego. That was an ego-driven thing. That was and then to a degree, I do understand it because we as Black men, we have grown up in a toxic society that puts everything upon us. So at some point, we have to feel like we have to control something somewhere along the line, and he found control. And if he feels like I have to control something, I can't control my work, I can't control the society, the systemic oppression that I have to deal with everything. But I have to control my home. And we've been told as Black men, and other Black men have played into that toxic mentality of, yo, you gonna let your woman talk to you like that? Yo, you gonna let her do that to you? So we have to, those are the structures that we have to address as men. Started when we're young, start getting it instilled into the younger kids that the proper way to go about building and forming relationships, because that's one of the things that we have a problem with. We don't know how to build healthy relationships at an early age, so that carries over until when we get older, and that's why so many of us get caught up into these toxic relationships, men and women.
Okay,
that's why we develop these toxic behaviors.
BX, man,
Miss Marshall,
hey, man
I'm sorry to cut
bro.
you off, P. Pimpin. I'm sorry to cut you off. Miss Marshall, just before I saw your comment, and I'm not speaking on anything. I just wanted to clarify. I was referring to Jules in the comments because she said if only we knew other books as much as we knew the Bible. And I was letting her know that us using the Bible as an example of historical superiority, regardless to the gender, does not negate that we've read other books. So then I asked the panel to speak on other books, but I was not going against what you said, Ms. Marshall. I'll just let you know that.
Oh, no. And I understand that. I actually was talking about the gentleman that just spoke. When I call Mr. McKnight, I like to call him that every now and too. When I call him king, it is for him. Black men go through hell. But I just want you to understand that. That's what I do it for. I choose to, well, let me finish. I choose to call him king because he has to know he has value in my life. Makes a difference when you understand me? So that's the only thing. I know you said you didn't like those words, but I choose him. He goes through enough on the outside of the house. I understand. He goes through enough on the outside of the house. So I'm going to make him feel like a king when he comes in my house. That's all.
I totally get what you're saying. I say for me, I don't like it if somebody like, for me personally, you don't have to call me that because I know my own self-worth. So I know, and we as men, we also have to, I say like this, if we're talking relationships and all of that, we have to challenge what we've been taught. And we have to say, and quite honestly, a lot of men, we need to go through therapy, whether it be on some kind of level to address the damage that's been done to a lot of men on how we view relationships, how we view intimacy. What do we consider intimacy? What do we consider to be the things that we used to consider like to be soft? That we have to start telling each other, yo, it's okay to show emotions. It's okay to tell yourself that it's okay. It's healthy to cry as a man.
And you know what, BX, what you're speaking of is speaking more to the prompt and the therapy, and there it is right there. As women, as Esther and Deborah, we can only do so much. This is your community. You are the leaders. We are your women. So I loved what you said right there, brother.
Well,
yeah,
no,
I'm actually a PK. All right, my grandfather and my father, both preachers. I was supposed to take over the church, which is why I took offense when he was talking about Bible, or basically bastardizing verses from the Bible in order to actually come up with that idea regarding the dynamic that was expected of men and women in marriage. And he was leaving out those details as if they weren't relevant, even though they happen most of the time, just not the whole time. You know what I mean? You're going to deal with these sort of things in a marriage where somebody is actually has more experience, more expertise, or maybe more learning on a topic, and that is relevant. You don't diminish your partner, because there's two ways to have the tallest building in the world. You can either erect a really tall structure, or you can tear all the other ones down. And he has this idea that sometimes you should tear all the other ones down just to make yourself feel important.
But Dane, I think we're putting too much attention on that and the women. You don't like our BBLs. You don't like our eyelashes. Stop dating us. Stop putting us in your bedroom. You men need to get together, like the BX said beside me, and start with that mental health. I was like cheering you on, BX, when you said that. It starts with y'all. Just like it does with the Jewish community, just like it does with the Italian community and all these other communities.
Well, I'm a girl dad, and the fact that I have Black daughters, I have a Black wife, I'm happy with my family. I love my family. I've been with my wife since I was a teenager. These are important things to me. And the idea, for example, I should not diminish myself as a husband in order to be a good father, and I don't have to trade off to be a good husband. In order to be a good husband, I have to basically neglect my kids. This idea that I can do both, and it just takes a little bit to to basically destroy any of that. It's about integrity. It's about those sort of things. These are more important than conquest or asserting your authority at every single turn. And it's wild that he's got this authoritative sort of thing as opposed to a helpmate situation. It's wild to me.
So why are you still talking about him, though?
No, just real quick. I want to add something. So I'm gonna flip it a little bit. I'm gonna talk about, I was a single mom for years. I'm part of the L community, so I have a wife now. So we're doing this thing, and their dad is heavily involved. We co-parent. For me, what I want to speak from the ladies, the women, the mothers. We play a part with our young men also too. I have two teen boys, 13 and 15 years old. And there are some things we do as women sometimes that prevent them from actually getting out there, being helicopter moms, feeling like we gotta do everything for them, worrying about them overly when they're gonna be okay, not allowing them to kind of find their way as young men and eventually becoming men. And I say boys first because I don't always like when people say he's the man of the house. No, none of that. He's not a man, he's a child. But, and then I only say that because our grandson, I promise y'all I'm going to land and I'm going to mute up and finish up my yard. Our grandson who's in the basement, it's little things that I noticed. His mom mostly raised him. And so he got a great job here. He lives here with us and I love him. He's launching. But then you start noticing things at him at 27 years old that you're like, wow, he really didn't have that strong male example or mom. For me, it's very important that my son goes to Omega sort of things or goes to other opportunities. I mean, I know his dad is in his life, but we need, like Obama said, we need a lot of examples of that. And I think we as women, if you're a single mom, please be careful in the way that we're raising our young boys to young men to men. That's it. That's all I'm saying. We play a part in that also too.
Okay. Yeah, but what I wanted to say real quick was I understand why people went after him the way they did, but you also have to try to figure out what is it in this society that made him develop that mentality. See, it's easy to go after him. And I was listening to them. I'm like, yeah, okay, but what is it in American society that forced him to develop that mentality? How did that come about? Because you can go after the why do you think like that, but how did he come about? And until you understand the how, you can't get to the why, and then you can't get to the end result of how do we fix something. So how did we as a community develop these negative traits, develop this
I'm sorry,
this
who are we talking
mindset?
about?
I'm talking about us as a whole, as a collective, as a community. How did we as a community get to this point where we're battling each other at times? And I see it across social media platforms.
But you said, why did he get to this point? Who are we talking about?
Denelli, or people like
okay,
him. I'm not going to say him. I'm going to say people like him.
But
How did that
you know
develop?
what? We need to also talk about the other side of that coin. People like, and no offense, Daniel, I love you, but people like just you, what you just did too. Now you were onto something when you talked about therapy, but now we're right back at square one. That's why the ego war starts. And then again, my original comment, then we're looking for security because I can't speak for men, but y'all's ego, not letting stuff go. Us women, we messed up too. I want to talk about solution. I want to talk about the prompt. I'm tired of hearing about Denali. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a community, we got to stop fighting each other over like this mantra of leadership and submissiveness and all of that. We're a team. We're on the same team.
So how do we address?
But see, I can only start with me. I can say like this: I'm not going to down you. I'm not going to down you for who you love, what religion you are, or not. I'm gonna support that. I might not agree with everything that goes on, but I will never disrespect you in public in front of white people. I know that much.
So men, how do we address single mom? Because I really, although we're talking about Black men in the community, right? And we're talking about marriages, and that's what we really ultimately want, right? Because we know that family structure, somebody has a lot of background noise. I'm gonna mute up everybody. Okay. So while we want we say the nuclear family, some people are not doing nuclear, some people are doing multi-generational, whatever, and they've done the research and they've said that these things work. But we do know within our community, we have single moms, Black men. Do you have any suggestion for, not even so much for the single moms, but like how do we assist the community and where we know we're moving past, but this is currently where we're at? We could talk about men all day and family structures, but we have a structure that's going on in our community that needs to be addressed that Black men are in. Because we're not talking about, girls now. We're talking about boys who are going to become men. We could talk about men all day long. But if we're not proactive in the journey, right, then now we have men, we're saying we need to go to therapy, we need to do these things. We need to address it at a younger age. And I feel like, yes, in those homes, yes, it could be addressed in the structure, but then we have our kids going to school with other people who may not.
You monologuing, sweetie. We understand your question. Let Daniel got his hand up. Go ahead, Daniel.
So no, 1 second. Pippin, what we're not, hold on for 1 second, and I'm gonna get this out. What we're not gonna do, Miss P has been on mute for hours, came in, been helping, assisting on this live, right? If I come off mute 2 times and I have something that I would like to say, I think it's respectful to let me. A lot of people monologue today. So please be respectful towards me. If I come off mute, I'm coming off. Most of the time, I'm out here in my yard. So don't do that, Pippin. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah. For example, there are several ways, like what were being talked about earlier. The idea, for example, changing our mindset when it comes to this idea of a village is a village, and it doesn't actually have to look a certain way. It can actually be multi-generational. A village is a village. It can be actually it can be friends. This idea of Friendsgiving is not just a thing. Those are people that are helping you to actually raise your kids. It's just more people that love your children. Those sort of things. These are valid. Another way that we can deal with this is we need to get rid of this ego thing. For example, to address the prompt. All right. Ego is the issue. Asserting dominance is actually treated as if it's somehow
more important than the idea of actually having a proper and actually equitable solution, which is, I think we agree on, is actually our kids thriving. All right, having healthy mindsets, being able to have conflict resolution that isn't violent, that is actually restorative. All right, and I don't know why that is somehow treated as if it's somehow bad simply because it might not necessarily be biblical, as if that is somehow always the best or ethical way. Because there are a lot of things, and I recognize and I respect people who are Christian, and that's fine for you. But the thing is, there's a lot of stuff in there that's kind of not necessarily valid, or you might not want, because there's some stuff that's kind of terrible. All right, and we have to recognize that the idea that from it shouldn't take the situation.
What does that have to do with the prompt?
I'm trying to address, for example, can Black men ever work together? The asserting dominance portion is actually something that basically prohibits or gets in the way of that. Rather than trying to have a solution, they want us to figure out who's in charge of us never even resolving it. Who is in charge? They'll argue about fixing it as opposed to fixing it.
I would love to hear from War because he's new on the panel.
Go ahead. What's going on?
Hey, y'all.
Just make me a mind.
You want to? You
All
want
the
to
mind
take?
spots are taken up.
You want to go
Everybody.
ahead and take?
All right.
No, be real quick.
Go ahead.
Just let people grow, man. Leave people alone, man. So, man, let people grow.
What you mean let people grow?
Like, so part of this thing, can Black men ever work together? Not everyone wants to work in a full group. Like pimping is doing his own thing, you doing your own thing. Like maybe if you want to do something food wise, like we could rock.
Right.
But other than that, it's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? People are also saying things like we're not getting along. That's crazy. If I go to a college and I see a bunch of Kappas, they seem to be getting along. See a bunch of Omegas, they seem to be getting along. I go to church, I see the men on my Black usher board, whatever. They seem to be getting along.
I don't hear this one word. Support. You know, when you look at other communities like the Asian, Hispanics, Italians, Irish, they all support each other. That's one thing I noticed growing. I'm 54. I'll be 55 in August. I noticed that growing up in high school and middle school, we always was at each other. But then you would always see the white kids in a small little group. You see the Asians in a small group. You see the Spanish in a small group huddled together. But then you always see us fighting at each other.
That's anecdotal, bro.
Same way, it's not anecdotally.
It is, bro.
Because because you see it every day. How would you say it's like
you see that every day? You see that every day.
Again.
Hey, War, let him land.
But Tech, you may see it as anecdotal, right? But I can guarantee. So tell me right now. You saying to me that the Black community, because I gave everybody an example yesterday, right? When there's a bank out here called Wood Forest. It's a Black bank. I don't see any Black people putting their money over there in that Black bank. But I know because I've been banking with Wells Fargo for over 20 years. Tell me anybody on this panel got their money in a Black bank? You gonna tell me that's fucking anecdotal?
Yes, they do.
I mean, do you?
Yes, they do.
I just said I bank at Wells Fargo for 20 years.
So then why don't you go change it and then come back? You over here complaining about people don't getting along.
No,
right?
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, what I'm saying, Tech, is that we're talking about why in the Black community the way men is not supporting the way men are not supporting the women in their community. Right? That's the conversation is that. So when and you also heard people say on a panel that it was because of generational, the way they was brought up. And they're exactly right. BX said it. I know because my grandfather was that way. You get what I'm saying? Him and my grandmother always was fighting all the time. It's like that in the black community when the men always has to be the dominant person. Feel like they have to be the one in control. Miss P just asked the question, what do we do for single parent women? I never heard that word support come out of nobody's fucking mouth. Not one nigga on this panel said support. You been on this motherfucking panel, Tech. You was the first. I said, Tech, I'm gonna let you go first.
Did people use synonyms for support when they responded?
I still don't understand what you're saying, bro. Like, I really don't. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that you're like. I think that you're just looking at it from one perspective, and I think you probably need to travel outside of your area, or even go Google some of the things that I said. And I don't know, and I don't know. Maybe it's Khan's head blocking the other part that says black men for black women. I mean, I thought it was just about. It was just that's what it was. Can black men ever work together?
Can time out, Tech, time out for 1 second. Let me clear something up real quick before Tech goes down this path. Tech, if I'm a mother who has 2 teen boys who will be young men who will turn into men one day, I get where you're going. Why does a single mom need to jump into this conversation? You know why?
No,
you want to know why?
Where I was going.
Well, where are you going with this? Because you're trying to
you could have let me finish, or just be like, yo, hey, get to the point, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you're bringing in this thing. Women are always. Let me tell you something.
So, can you answer Pimpin's question about the support that's needed for single moms or single fathers who may have? Because Sapphire said they're single fathers, but I was saying single mom just because women are not men, so we can't technically raise boys into men. So my question is this: if we know that this is going on within our community, how do we address it? We're not talking about global. We're not talking about your circle. We're talking about the situations that may not affect us, but affect the community. So let's stop focusing on your vantage point. Pimpin is not saying that he has not seen men get along. What he's saying is, outside of myself, I know it's a concern. So let's address that. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, so you're changing
topic. And that's why that's the reason why I don't even like arguing with.
The topic is not changed.
And Miss P, that's the reason why I didn't want to try to argue with Tech, because me and Tech, we be on panels together and shit, right? When you saying anecdotally, man, I was just looking at something the other day. Mike Tyson was at a party a long time ago with Michael Jordan at the table, and Mike Tyson stood up. He was about to box Michael Jordan. Look this shit up, bruh.
What?
It was at somebody's wedding that was in the boxing community circle. And that's what I'm saying. We do this shit publicly, bro. Two famous. Think about it.
That's
two
Mike
famous.
Tyson,
Hold
bro.
on. Let me land my plane. Two famous niggas in our community. One a boxer, one a basketball player, sitting at a dinner table, and the shit was over Robin Givens.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out why you're I'm trying to figure out why you're surprised that a man who went to jail for assault went to prison for it. Yeah, his job wanted to fight somebody publicly. That's not surprising. I'm trying to wonder why you're surprised.
Hey, I got this here. But say, listen,
I'm trying to understand why you're surprised.
Hey, Daniel, I just made this up as a specific point, but it's not always gonna be a fucking Mike Tyson, bro. That's the reason why people are at your motherfucking ass, nigga.
Wasn't Robin Givens his wife?
Okay,
Robin Givens was his wife, right?
Excuse me. Can I just say one thing? And what Pimpin
and then hold on, DX. Let me land my shit with him in the first place. Nigga, what was the synonyms, nigga, that you was saying about support earlier? Give me them motherfucking synonyms, nigga. that you said
Working together,
earlier about
working
supporting women.
together,
We all on the same.
working together, helping one another, backing one another up, that sort of thing. I've said those sort of things. That would be support. I mentioned all of those things when I was talking about this. Those are all synonyms for that exact thing. And the fact that you didn't say support, I said you worked on cars. If you worked on car engines for a living, I didn't use the word mechanic, but I called you a mechanic. If I described it, I said it. That's the difference. I didn't call you out your name. You call me the N-word one more time.
Nigga,
tell you about yourself.
what you gonna do?
Okay. We all on the same team, y'all. Literally.
Okay, so
we're all on the same.
Am I?
That's not cool.
Yes.
Are we when he's out here calling me out of my name and I haven't disrespected him once?
Come on, no, we get a little more, but we look literally. Well, I'm the glue. Trust me. We all are the same. If Pimp over here, you over here, we all on the same team.
Okay, I'm just trying to point out that he asked me a question. I gave him an answer, and the fact that he was back to the corner because I did say all of those things.
You can't never
then he calls me out. Then he calls me a racial epithet.
It's that shit right there you talking. Right there about backing me up into a coma. You can never back me up into no coma.
Pimp, hold on.
We don't know
We watched it happen.
No. I'm not going to attack him. I'm not going to attack him.
No, you're not. But
I just wanted to let him know that first of all,
everybody
this is
watched it
hey,
happen.
Daniel,
I think I understand where we at.
Listen, bro, this is an app.
Let me finish and then I'm gonna talk and then you got it.
This is an app, bro. Right? You getting offended just by me calling you the N-word. Nigga, get over that shit, bro. Get over that shit right there. Just get over that, right? And let's get back on top. Let's get back on topic.
You just disrespect me, and I'm supposed to just
the topic is me disrespecting you, or you trying to back me up in a coma. The topic is about women, and us brothers in the black community supporting them. And then Sapphire said also about the men need support. Get off your high horse, nigga.
I'm pointing out that you disrespect me, and I'm
Daniel's right though, Pip. You can't swing at him by calling him a nigga and not expect him to be condescending when he replies back. You know what I'm saying? So and it's because I came up from the era roasting, like when people was gonna say something about me, but I knew I had the opportunity to say something about them, and I just had to one up them. And sometimes they gonna one up me, and I think that's where we get caught up, especially on this social media shit, where we feel like they got us and we gotta get them back in a sense. I got it, and I'm not saying both of y'all are not doing it. I'm just saying like it just reminds me of what old girl was saying. We kind of get caught up and we gotta have not the last word, but one up in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Dave. Then we go get back to it.
Pointing out that
great conversation. I appreciate, and I want to say, hold on, there, that I appreciate you and Pep. And the reason why I think y'all over here because y'all do have common interests that will bring y'all together, and we just have to find it out. All right, but I appreciate both.
Which is where I was trying to come from, and I answered this question directly. When did you say that, Daniel? And I gave you the examples of stuff that everybody here witnessed me say on this panel, not elsewhere in this panel. And that's when you called me out my name. But I'm not supposed to respond when you call me out my name. All right, I didn't do that to you. You did that to me.
Okay, Daniel,
but
Daniel, Khan just addressed that. And I followed you before. You're very intelligent and everything like that. But you seem to get caught up. Like at one point, if the host says, hey, we got to push past, let's not do that. Then if you're not ready to get back on topic, then just let somebody else get back on topic. But to bring back up something Khan is trying to push past, all it is going to start the cycle all over again. So like if you need to go on mute for a little bit so you can breathe and let somebody else talk.
No, it won't, P, because I'm not gonna go back and forth.
No, you're not.
You're not going back and forth.
I know
you're not. But no, it's fine.
I just said that and said, can we get back on topic?
That's fine, guys.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, can we get back on topic?
Yeah,
that's all. I said that.
Corey gonna get us back. He gonna lead us for a little bit. Go ahead, Corey, lead us for a little bit.
So, P, you spoke about this earlier, and I've had the benefit of seeking therapy, and had the opportunity to have my mentality shift and my perspectives open. This is something that before I think you can have any substantive solutions that we can speak about, and I know there are many that Black men can present to single mothers that can help them raise their children. We still have the issue that our Black men have been traumatized. And you see that throughout the panel, where the egos take over and the conversation loses substance to the original topic. It's happened several times on this live this morning. And like I say, if we can stay on topic, the idea that I think there's no way for a woman to give a young man the same Black male lived experience as what a Black male can do. That's something that needs to be understood right off the bat. You can raise your child similar to a Black man, but you can't give him the same lived experience. And this is something for all Black men we need to take upon ourselves as our own personal responsibility when we know those children that don't have a productive Black male in their lives, to take on those mentorship roles and pass on the good values, the work ethic, the structure of life that will make them productive. Those are the things that are solution-based, that are around you. And as for a single mom, if you know any of those men, remove your pride. And I don't want to say that in a negative way, but if you can have the patience to ask that Black man if he can take on that role to assist you in that situation, so that your sons can understand what it is to be a Black male in America. Because like I said, only a Black man can speak to his own lived experience, and not too many people understand those different lived experiences that we have with very similar situations in them. But like I say, they're all different. So there are ways, but it may be uncomfortable for you to do initially. Just like I say, when I started my community engagement, it was a little scary to knock on that door and try to introduce myself to a stranger and try to present something that is so far out of the way, but traditional in a sense, because we all remember where there were times where our doors weren't locked and we left our screen doors open, and the person down the street could whoop your butt if you did something wrong. And then those times about discipline, structure, mentality, positive ways, like I say, mentorship programs, just teaching your cousins, your nephews how to change tires, how to be a responsible male within our society, understanding that our footsteps are going to be unique to any other race within this society. So in short, just like I say, opening yourself up to a strong male that you may think is qualified or in a way that can help your sons navigate themselves through society is probably the best answer I can give.
And I just wanted to sit there and say something as well. But this also goes into the fact that there are plenty of single Black fathers out there to young Black girls that can't teach them to be Black women. And, the mothers are also absent from their lives as well. So it does go vice versa. It's not just a one-way street. I have a friend, he's a young Black male. He's raising his daughter by himself. The mom is nowhere around. She up and left and is doing her own thing. But he has friends like me and other, female friends that have stepped into the picture and stuff as his daughter is growing up to teach her about female things. So it does go vice versa on both ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know a homeboy who YouTube who got it, he's raising his girl.
That's something that definitely is needed, because I saw for myself with my wife, the woman's body is something unique, y'all. And for men that don't know, it is to be respected. The things that a woman goes through throughout her lifetime is something that none of us as men, especially emotionally unstable creatures that we are, could probably handle. So to have a woman to tell a child, you're not, where something's not going wrong. This is what is supposed to happen, and this is how you react to it. Is great. I'm loving you for that. And say to all the Black men, just it's our turn to step up and be who our grandfathers were to our grandfathers, the teachers, the mentors, the understanding that it's just not yours exclusively. It's those around you that that are lacking without that male perspective in their lives. You can do that. It may be uncomfortable, but it's worth it because they are our future.
Yeah. One of the things I say is I can show you better than I can tell you. So yeah, getting involved in, because I know a lot of black men who got involved in mentorship. I do it. But for me is if I know you got if you're a single parent and I try to help out in any way I can, I don't just say, well, I'm going to do this. I don't talk about it. I just show you by example. I show you how I live my life. And and if I see you doing something wrong, I'm going to sit there and talk to you about it. As a young black man, like young black men I've talked to, I've helped them out. When I was in New York and I worked at in the foster care agency, worked with them, helped them out. So there's certain things that you can do that you give back to. But I'm more one of those people who say, I lead by example. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I myself am not going to do because, and then and if you ask me certain questions, I'm always going to tell you the truth about certain things. And as I had a young man come to me one time and say he think about joining the military. Now, some people say, nah, you shouldn't encourage him to join the military. Well, it was either that or because he said he wasn't going to school and he didn't have no real direction. So why not encourage him to go into the military to provide him a little bit of discipline? Because
And
I did
structure.
it and worked for me, and he's still in the military. He had a career in the military, and then when he gets out, he'll still be young enough to still get another job and get that military pension. So that's one of those things that we have to also start teaching is
How to play the game.
financial literacy
How to play the
within
game.
our community.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
I see because too many young black kids they see this online social media wealth, which is not real, but they think is real and they inspire to that. I'm more or less I like to encourage young black kids to be nerds. I don't want to see us always be, athletes. I want to see us lead in the STEM field and field of STEM. I want us to be nerds. I want us to be the guys that say it's okay to be the black nerd, to read the comic book, to go to Black Comic Con, to do those things. We should embrace all of that within our community.
Jeff Bezos was a nerd.
Structure and discipline.
Elon Musk was a nerd.
Yeah.
Gates was a nerd.
Yeah, everything
Steve Jobs was a nerd. I'm sorry.
everything you described, BX, is like structure and discipline that children need and stuff in order for them to grow up and prosper and be successful, especially further beyond than what their parents have in their struggling situations. The saying always goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and that is absolutely a true definition to raising a child. 100%.
And let me say this, because Corey and P, they have children now. And let's say we were all in the same area, I would still feel responsible for their kids. To talk to because sometimes your kids might not feel comfortable coming to you, and they say, "Yo, I'm not gonna say. I'm just using this as an example. Yo, Uncle BX, yo, can I talk to you about something? Yeah. Now I wouldn't keep it from you. I would come to you, yo, he came and talked to me about this. But we should be responsible for, even if you come from a two-parent household, we should still be responsible for those kids in our community as well.
Yeah, BX, you hit it on the nose because my nephew and niece, they come talk to their uncle pretty much about problems they have with their parents. So you hit it on the nose, BX.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't talk to your parents about everything because you don't think that your parents will understand.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's always good to have outside perspective from even within a dynamics like that, because I've done it within my own family. So
the one thing I do is give my nieces and nephews the advice that I can give them, right, BX? But I also let them know that hey, your parents gonna always unconditionally love you.
Yep.
So don't never think or believe that them being hard on you is it them just being hard on you just so that they can make you feel bad. It's just a loving hardness that's coming from them. So that's just me. Now I'm not telling anybody how should they speak to their nieces and nephews or their kids. I'm just saying from my side of the perspective. That's how I deal with my niece and nephew.
Yeah, because when we say it takes a village, it takes a village.
Yep,
It really does.
I wish war hadn't left. I mean, conflict, because he honestly made some pretty good statements down in the comments, um, talking about how it is more functional for children to have like a two-parent household. But obviously, there's like a lot of issues that are faced, in this world today where, it's either the mom is absent or the father is absent from the child's life. But I wanted to sit there and state, like as a person that was a single mother myself, it you either let your life define you or you choose to define your life, and that's something you can instill into your children. So just because of the challenges and issues and trauma that you've gone through, from either having an absent child or even, to the part that, a young boy couldn't be taught to be a man and stuff because the father's absent, or a young girl that is being raised by a single father, can't be taught on how to be a proper woman and stuff. There is like ways around it, and it doesn't have to specifically define you, so.
Can we have a conversation about that? Because me and my wife just had a conversation. See, I've got 4 boys. My oldest is 28. My next is 26. Then I've got 16 and 15.
Oh,
Now,
you don't even look old enough, Corey, to have children that age.
look,
Good for you, brother.
we have a 2-parent household. The conversation I want to have is it more beneficial for a child, or do you have more discipline and structure with the child when you have a single parent, or not so much discipline and structure, but have the child grow up with the mentality of self-awareness and knowing how to do more? Because my grandbaby has that situation kind of going on right now, where the mother's absent. Me and we're taking care of the grandbaby essentially, but her awareness and to do for herself is greater than my boys now, kind of. So okay.
Yeah.
So, as a mom of 6, I have 4 girls and 2 boys. I'm biracial. My children are biracial as well. Um, it's they have their traumas and stuff from like their father not being in their life and stuff, and especially from the trauma from when their father was in their life. But the one thing I've always realized when it came down to my girls compared to my boys is that girls do tend to advance and be more independent faster than what boys do. I don't know why that is. People say it's like the maturity level of like their brain and stuff. Um, but it it's
Yeah,
hard.
I think. I'm sorry. I think that goes from nature to nurture, which is
Yeah,
more
yeah.
natural, and which is more nurtured. Has it been nurtured?
Exactly, BX. Yeah. So, um, that could be the reason why you're sitting there seeing the difference, between your sons and your granddaughter. And God bless you guys, by the way, for doing that. I have my first grandchild coming soon, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, because it that is an interesting question because biologically, women mature faster than men, develop faster because I think women have to figure it out more quickly. Whereas, yeah, that is an interesting question though. But what is it that we naturally learn, and what is it that is nurtured within us, within the structures of our communities as human beings? Because growing up, I'm not gonna say I came from a single parent. I had a stepfather and all of that, but I also had my uncles around me, my grandparents around me, my aunts around me. So I grew up in a community, a loving community, family community. So I never wanted for that. But then there's always still that side of you, that little bit of side of you that says to you, where you felt a little bit of resentment of why wasn't my biological father here with me at that time. As I got older and me and him reconciled those differences, and I reconciled that within me, but you still have that in you as a child. And those are the questions that some people will never be able to answer, and that you have to wrestle with through the course of your life, and you have to come to terms with. But as long as you have a loving, structured, when I'm gonna assume on the positive side for you, Corey, that you and your wife, you're providing for your grandbaby, and they have a community. They have a community around them, and she's gonna be. But I think she's gonna be okay because, like you said, she's figuring it out on her own quicker.
I also wanted to throw in there also too that we raised our girls different than the way that we raise our boys. I think we give them tasks to do, but we tend to fall back on them a little bit when they're younger. The girls, we kind of push them towards a little bit more of some of the, okay, this is what you have to do. This is how to take care. And I know it's changed some, but historically we raise our girls different from how we raise our boys. We give girls responsibility early.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm not gonna say this is for all, but when I was a kid, um, the girls got the easy baked ovens, and the boys got the Tonka toy trucks.
Somebody
So-
just told me, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Carl.
No, it's funny you say that. Somebody on the live told me yesterday that I grew up playing with easy bake ovens, trying to diss me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
That is funny.
But it is like how do we gear our children towards these gender roles, so to speak? You know, you as a man, you're supposed to do this. You as a female, you're supposed to do that. And those constructs are breaking down now, and some of them have to be rebuilt. Like we have to start telling young men, yes, you have to be we have to start telling young men you have to be emotionally mature to handle life, because that's what I think a lot of things are missing. And I don't want to say, but even though he was a very smart guy, but as soon as you pull this card about saying, if you're not ready to let it go, just mute, then he dropped down. That's emotional immaturity. All you did was tell him back, ease up, and he got mad. So you could be very smart, but we have to teach emotional maturity for young men, or how to take rejection, or how to take criticism.
You know what? I won't say emotional regulation more so. Like you got to learn how to control your emotions. You know what I'm saying? But you're right in a sense, because once you recognize what your emotions are, and I think that might be the problem now, not recognizing why you angry. You just angry. You don't try and look in to see like, why am I so angry? Because it ain't literally this person, especially if I'm going through the same thing. It's got to be something within me, and I think that's almost the problem with man, that we don't like to do a lot of introspection, like looking at ourselves, like, you know what I mean? Like it's supposed to say your biggest enemy is you. I'm sure you heard that before, and I think men don't really want to like face that. Where women be like, shit, I'm at the bottom now. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Do what I gotta do, type shit.
Or your ego. Look how Daniel ran after I said what I had said to his motherfucking ass. He just he cut and ran and shit. When trying to tell me he backing me in the motherfucking car. But who the fuck ran?
But I love Pippin.
Your ego was there too, though. You understand that?
Daniel, good dude.
What'd you say, Corey? I ain't hear you. Corey.
Your ego was there too.
and it was Corey, right? And I admit to it, right, Corey? Because of how he came at me, like we trying to figure out the solutions in the community, and he was the one. His ego was filling himself up about whatever he had to say is better than our motherfucking solution. Right? And so again, but I agree with you, Corey. My ego came out, right? And I admitted it. But he's the one that was trying to approach me, trying to put me in the motherfucking corner. It wasn't gonna happen.
And I wanted to speak to this what you were talking about earlier. Realize guys and a lot of men don't recognize or realize or understand, even though who they are as men at young ages. It takes us so much longer, even though they say mentally our brains have developed at the age of 25. How many of us at the age of 25 can say today who we actually were, that we were mentally developed and mature enough to understand who we actually were as men, even though we claimed manhood at that time.
Right. And I can tell you right now, Corey, I wasn't developed then. I can guarantee you I wasn't. Trust me, bro. If I knew what I knew today at the age of 25, bro, and Corey, listen, Corey, man, my grandfather used to always come at me with that shit, right? He literally kept telling me what to do with my finances, what to do with my money at the age of 25, because I was making a lot of money back then. You know what I'm saying? And just imagine if I would have invested that. That shows my immature at the time when I was 25. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever. If that was
so that shows you my immature at the time when I was 25 years old.
So I feel
25, you couldn't tell me nothing.
So how many of us still are struggling to find out who we really are as men in this society? Because we either haven't had a positive role to actually be the men that model there to show us, or the things that we have seen ain't good enough, and our minds just ain't ready to actually be the men that we're supposed to be.
Yeah, look, I still say like this. I'm still working on me. I'm still working on financially, always trying to improve myself mentally, physically, trying to and financially, always trying to say not look back and not like, yo, you should have did this, yo, you should have did that, and self-doubt that I've had in my life, trying to negate the negatives that I've done, and trying to push past the self-doubt that I've had in my life about myself, to say, you know what, you did that, but you've been here before. Yeah, you know how to get out of this road. You've been down this road before, so it's made you stronger. Better. How can I improve? So yeah, I think you should always constantly be reevaluating yourself, saying, what can I do better? How can I improve upon myself? Never feel like you're a complete package. Always feel like there's more that you can learn and you can do and you can grow. And Corey, to make yourself a better person. You guys are raising young. But the question I wanted to ask P and Sapphire is, and Corey, because you say you guys are raising young ladies, but that aspect, because it's teaching. Oh, we because one of the things I see is like this trad wife thing, and I really hate that aspect, because it's teaching young women to just be. So I'm sorry, to just be housewives.
It's funny you say that.
I have boys. You're probably talking about them. I have 2 boys.
Oh. Okay. So I'm sorry, but
it's funny you say that, because I just had a conversation with my grandbaby on the way from Five Below, because we were looking for these little mystery dumplings. I guess it's a new craze, and thing was I couldn't find them. But I told her she had a $10 budget and said, if you can add up everything that you get. I made her add up everything. Grandbaby's on the 6. Just now getting into adding and subtraction. but I'm using it as a learning situation. And on the way home, we talked about how being smart is beneficial. And I told her, don't ever let anyone tell you that being smart is dumb or uncool. And the way she received it, it made my heart melt. She was like, okay, Papa. And it was like one of those moments where it's like, I believe I got through. And as long as I continue to show her through actions that being educated, and her grandmother is, just the same. So like I said, my wife is extremely, she's like, we're opposites, but a lot of the same in the ways that she's strong in mind. So I mean, yeah, to speak to that, but and that's something too. I've broken that conventional mindset of gender roles, because I do laundry, I wash dishes, I take care of the kids. Like I say, my wife does. We co-equal parent, in the way that we try to run our household. So we show. I want my boys to understand that my wife is equal, and that anything that she does, they should be able to do as well. They shouldn't be dependent on a woman to have this, and that's her restrictive role. No, there are interchanging roles. It's fluid. And like I said, situational. There's no way I'm just say, oh, I'm in charge, going to do whatever I say. And it's my wife's got a mentality of in subjects that I have no education in. I'm just going to ignore her opinion and just continue to do it. It makes no sense. So what you're saying, like I say, it's easy to mold the girls to make sure that they see it, but it's up to the parents. Like I say, you have to recognize, like say, what you're saying is we don't want them as just historically housewives. Your roles, women's roles have been restricted to these obscure positions historically, so we have to find ways to open it up, especially if you have daughters. Like I say, always let them know that the sky's the limit.
It's okay to allow. Yep, and just to say, listen, man, in your life, it's to say, listen, it's okay to allow. Whether you agree, disagree with a woman in your life, 100%, to say, listen, that's what she want to do, and okay, be her rider. Whether you agree, disagree, but I'm gonna back you up 100%. I'm gonna be there for you. Says, yo, and I got your back. You make be her ride or die, and I trust, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Well, down to trust. Be the one that says, yo, and I got your back. You make these decisions on this, and I trust you. Because that's what I think it boils down to: trust. Don't allow. And again, can I trust you to make these good decisions for us? Family, you guys have been. And yeah, right now I gotta give. Don't allow again. Don't allow your ego to come into play. But listen, fam, you guys have been beautiful. I'm at work right now. I got to get back to work. I'll probably be up later on. If I can, Corey, Pimp, Zaf, Miss P. Beautiful day. Thank you for having a great conversation, guys.
Yes, sir, man. Be safe.
All right.
Too hard now.
I try not to.
I know that's
Good talking to you.
I'm
about to die. I need to go put my phone on charge. I just realized that 14%.
I actually got to go. I'm about to go do some gardening with my little grandbaby.
All right, man. Enjoy yourself, man.
Okay. I have a great day.
All right, Corey.
That's exactly what I'm doing now, out here in the yard.
That's about to be us in about 30 minutes.
Looking beautiful, Miss P. Looking beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Beautiful
okay,
day.
don't drop me down, Con. Just take care of
I got you. You be safe.
What brought this
Just being pimping queen.
What brought this conversation up this morning? Because I stepped in the room and what's going on. I heard y'all. I'm assuming y'all had a little altercation with Denali, which every woman had.
There goes your explanation right there.
Isn't that kind of strange though, Conscious? I know, Sapphire. Isn't that kind of strange? Wherever this man goes, he has an issue with women, bro. Like, did his mom or his grandmother or his aunts or cousin or somebody did him something in his child life?
Shit. He is just a misogynistic narcissist. That's all it is.
Damn. This dude, shit. And I've even gotten, I mean, men has actually got in on him because of how he attacked women. And then he would literally go after us and shit like, damn, bro, what's your problem? This nigga, something weird about this dude, bro.
I never
I'm
want
being
to
honest.
go through my phone so much and climb. I'm telling you right now, you better stop letting that man walk all over this live like that.
No,
Like,
no, but you
Good
know
morning,
what though?
everyone.
Like, what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? He kind of give me the same privileges over here, so I be trying to be fair. But
I don't know.
Now, what's going on with
it's
your
just
turn?
I think what's going on, BA.
You know,
And then I want to, because it seemed like it is something that
because of this.
I don't know. I don't think it was like a family member. I think it was like a woman. You know what I'm saying? That maybe he just don't like all women because of this certain woman. That's the vibe I get. But trying to let the brother air it out, because I think once you get it out, you feel a little bit better. Then you can kind of look at like, man, this is how I'm acting.
I was already married.
it's his ex-wife. You can definitely tell it's his ex-wife.
No, because
he kept bringing it up. Like, I was already married and I already went through this and now I'm divorced. It's his ex-wife. And it's probably because his ex-wife would not sit there and tolerate that shit. Like,
I think, especially as a black man, I think our one problem or the biggest problem that we have is we kind of the black women are caught up in this Western society where a man has to bring home the bacon, and the dynamic that we have is the black woman kind of outpaces us in making money, especially nowadays. And I'm not saying it's cool, but man feel like almost emasculated by the, you know what I'm saying? The very women who want to be down with. It's weird, a weird dynamic. Like they love us, love them, but hate them.
It's like pressure. It's like a crazy pressure for a dude. You know what I'm saying? Especially living here in the United States, man, because the standards, man. You got to bring in the bread. She need to stay at home and cook and clean and do whatever that consists of. So, there's a lot of pressure on especially as black men. There's a lot of pressure on us nowadays, man. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't one thing with us, it's something else. We either catch the hell from the system or we catch the hell from each other. And the system just doesn't really benefit us all the time. I mean, we get the short end of the stick. I mean, it's just an endless cycle of drama, trauma, and everything else that comes with it, though. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy.
I'm sorry. How much pressure do you, and then you can get it, how much pressure you think we put on ourselves?
And that's another thing. We put pressure on ourselves because of the influence of how society sets its standards. It's a lot of influence.
I'm sorry.
Had that, and on top of that, with this, it comes with that. And I mean, it's a lot of influences that play a big factor in the things and how we function and how we respond. I mean, it's really. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah, bro. It's just like, damn, you can't get a break. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's endless. I mean, even me speaking for myself, man. I mean, me being the father, raising my children on my own, providing and having a job and the house and the cars and the retirement.
Hey, I told your group of niggers to get back in the field, you fucking dirty cotton picker nigga.
So it's like
we up here talking about children and look at this.
Exactly, nigga. You hear that shit?
Very overwhelming. I mean, so it's just so much that it could be very overwhelming. Look at it as well because I'm experiencing. Very overwhelming. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just looking at it. I'm on the inside, but I'm able to step outside and look at it as well because I'm experiencing it, and I see other brothers experiencing it as well.
It's not excuses. It's not excuses, BA. I mean, you telling it like it is, bro. I mean, like, who want? Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not trying to take anything away from any woman that want to be independent, right? But I'm just saying, from a brother's perspective, right? I have no problem or issue for my wife or any other woman in our community to go out and provide for the family. But it's that knowing that wherever she go, You know what I'm saying? She gonna fall into the same obstacles that we as men has fell in those same obstacles. You know what I'm saying? In our job, I'm retired, right, as a truck driver. I really never had that problem or issue once I started with my CDL. But when I worked for McDonald's or when I worked at a restaurant as a cook at Papa Do's and Chili's and all that shit, you had to have that bullshit racist white supervisor always coming at you for no apparent reason, just because he had an issue at his household and he come to work the next day want to bring that fucking bullshit to the job. But once I became a CDL, I never did have to have. That's why I loved it for 30 fucking years. Because I had no one telling me shit. As long as I knew how to drive and bring that load, drop it, pick up another fucking load, I never had no fucking problem.
Hey, like I said, I have no issue with the women or our sisters. I definitely respect it, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't, like I said, I have no issue with the women or our sisters providing and having to do what they gotta do, man. Hey, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me no difference at all. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies drop all them coins on me. I ain't know.
Hey, believe me, man. If she making more than me, hey, it's all good, man. I benefit no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
hey, I'm with a BA when she cash it and when we leave that motherfucker.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I got homeboys, man. 'Cause I'm like,
BA,
I'm sorry,
even if she in the front and I'm walking out behind her, it don't matter. When we get in that car, we spinning them hools. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, it's ours.
It's ours.
You know what I mean? So hey, believe me, brother, I'm already knowing, man. I got a couple of homeboys, man. And they can't help themselves. They got a problem with the fact that there are women out here who actually can provide for themselves and get it how they live. You got dudes who really be tripping over that shit. I'm like, what the hell?
Asset to you though, as a man, wouldn't that be, especially if your girl can be out there and hustling and it's down for you? That seems like it would be a benefit, not a hindrance.
Hey, I'm taking it all day, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's all day for me, man. It's all good.
But that's that masculinity, right? They can't stand to see a woman do better than them. You're not understanding that, man. Listen, if you was doing better than she was in the beginning, and then she flipped the script and she got a better education, she's pulling it more, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because look, my wife got a bachelor degree. So how can I get my two daughters? I don't. I graduated from high school, and that was it. So how can I get upset with my wife educating herself, and then my kids follow right behind her?
It's supposed to be Miss Lovely.
And, hey, all I could do was love it and congratulate her, man. I ain't no hater, man.
That's it. That's it.
Right. See, I got two. Oh, no, it's all good. Go ahead, sister.
No, you got it. I was just gonna say finish up and then we're gonna let Miss Lovely get it. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, like I got two daughters. You know what I'm saying? My oldest is 22. And going to school, doing better than me as far as where academics are going to school. I mean, like I said, I graduated from high school. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And then my youngest daughter, a 4.0 grade point average all through her from junior high school and even going through high school, just doing her shit. Want to go to school, want to go to college, man, go ahead, do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you want your children to be better than you. You want them to be that next generation to have more and do more than you did. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to be. So I tell both of my kids, man, do what y'all got to do, man. Get it how you live, man. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you make the right decisions and be wise. You know what I mean?
Everybody doing on Sunday morning. Hey y'all.
Good morning, Miss Lovely. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing on this Sunday morning?
I'm official like a ref for the whistle. What's up?
I heard that. So
That Cali. That Cali nigga.
I know, I heard it. I'm gonna say this. I thank God that I'm a millennial. So I come from the generation where where we're the last generation that know what it's like to grow up without technology, and then we're the generation that got into technology. So, fortunately, I was able to have that trait of harvesting relationships in a natural, organic way, right? And the generations after me, a lot of them, they don't know how to really meet people like in organic and just a natural way, right? They use like social media and the internet and stuff like that. And so the problem is a lot of men feel pressure because they looking at social media and seeing women that say things, oh, he gotta be a, baller, shot caller, with the 20-inch blades on the Impala and all this. And truth be told, right? Like when you look at those women, a lot of them are miserably single. They are. And then a lot of those men, because they're watching women, kind of tear them down on social media, right? They build like this disdain for women. And see, I met my old man the whole old school way. Okay, we met at a truck stop, at a diner. He said hello, I said hello, and here we are, And it's been times where he's made more than I have, I've made more than him, but we were able to build like a partnership and an understanding, and bottom line is like if it's having a good partner is important, you got to look at that woman or that man and say, past they looks and past what's in their pants, do I see myself kicking a bobo with this motherfucker at 3 a.m. on the porch when all our shit then fell to the ground? And these relationships, and that's what we got to ask ourselves, right? And you got a lot of people right now, they going into these relationships, not being friends first. Because hell, shit, we not gonna look like this always or feel like this always. But friendship is forever. And so, don't think that that's your friend. And I know you're not saying all women, all men or whatever. But if you can find that person that's your friend, that's the person you can genuinely build something with. Because I can guarantee you, outside of pimping, that woman being his wife, I bet that's his best friend too. Because the way pimping be talking his shit up here, I know him and his wife be like me and my husband be walking through the grocery store, look at that motherfucker right there. And laughing and shit. And
Did your wife cuss?
that's really what's important.
Hey,
You
Pip,
know.
let me ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did your wife cuss?
That's your dog. That's your dog, ain't it, Pippin?
Like a drunk motherfucker in a saloon.
I told you. But that's your dog. That's your dog, ain't it, Pippin?
Hey, my ace boom coon. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, see?
Well, we gotta
Hey man, that's my
Look,
listen,
my
I
husband
got
will
one
send
good.
me a
Hey,
picture
listen,
of some shit.
I got a good
And he'll be
story.
like,
we
look,
gotta
look at
let
this
Violet get
motherfucker.
Hey, Va, let me say this one little quick story. To a parking spot. We was going to Buffalo Wild Wings one day, right? He happened to just I pulled into a parking spot. We getting out. And the white guy trying to go to the door. He happened to just come after we had parked. We got out. Me and her, we getting out. I'm already trying to go to the door so I can open for her to go into the restaurant, right? And the white guy was like, "Hey, motherfucker, you ain't see me? That was my spot." What is your problem? And my wife, "Oh, bitch, what you was about to do? Come on, what you about to do?" And I'm like, "Girl, what is your problem? Let's go and get in the restaurant, man. Leave this motherfucker alone. Let him be out here talking crazy shit. Cause he ain't gonna do nothing." But I'm like, that's how she is, man. She always trying to protect me when I'm the one supposed to be protecting you. I wasn't worrying about that motherfucker. I done already got the spot. I'm going to the door to open the motherfucker for you. Let's go. Fuck him. Let him be on this motherfucker. crouching tiger, wanna be ass, thinking he fixing to do some kung fu shit or whatever the fuck he think he about to do. Not a goddamn thing but get his ass whooped.
Alligator, yo. We got,
But check this out. Check this out, though, brother.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you know
We
you
gotta
good.
let Violet get in, yo. We gotta, he got it.
No, it's all good. But one thing about it, though, you know what I'm saying? Me being a man married at one time in my life, you know what I'm saying? When the woman loves you to death, man, they're gonna defend you to the death. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, because women, one thing I've noticed, and this is just my experience, and I'm pretty sure you brothers may have experiences as well, is that when women actions that speak. You know what I'm saying? So, just like men, we are providers and protectors. So women are providers and protectors as well. It's just that you have the masculine protection and you have the feminine protection. But the thing about it is, it's supposed to complement one another. I mean, I do it this way, she do it that way, but it's a benefit for the both of us so we one body united. So believe me, man, it's a beautiful thing, man, especially when they're on your team, man. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, friendship.
It really, you right though. It is nothing like when you got a good woman down for you and believe in you, dog. You don't know what that will do to you in the morning.
Oh man, exactly. You don't know it till you experience it, man. I had my opportunity. I had my chance to experience it as well, so I know what it looks like, man. So, but the sister said something very essential that stood out to me: the friendship. Oh my gosh, man. But that's what it is, man. You got to be able to mingle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I mean, let's keep it real. You want someone that looks good, that smells good, and everything that comes with it. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to mingle. You got to be able to finesse them words to each other. You got to be able to know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you ain't got that organic communication with a woman or with a man, I mean, you can forget it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that organic build. If you're not organically building, then what are we doing? It should be natural. I mean, we shouldn't just look at women. We shouldn't just be looking at each other as sex objects. It should go deeper than that. It should be natural for men and women to communicate. Look, I know dudes. There should be two things. I'm not lying to you. Fight and defend yourself. My pops told me this years ago. As a man, there should be two things you should be able to do: fight and defend yourself, and naturally on various levels communicate with a woman. If you can't communicate with a woman outside of just having sex with her, then something's wrong with you. You should be. It should be natural for men and women just to have a conversation. It should be natural for men and women to be in a platonic situation. That's natural. That's normal.
Right.
But we live in
dudes don't do that, though.
Yeah, it says who? No, who said it was no? Who said it was natural?
I think it's natural. I said it was natural. I was told it was natural. It was very natural to me.
Hey, Kenneth.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, I just don't think it's natural. I don't think it's natural.
That's your opinion, though.
That's what we're doing.
We gotta remember he's gonna be the total opposite.
Hey, Kenneth. Valerie was actually on the panel. Valerie ain't got a chance to get in here.
Hey, lovely.
Hey, Kenneth.
Good morning. I agree with a lot of things you guys are saying, especially in regards to a relationship. As a gay man, I think it's the most important to have a conversation with, because, you know, in our community, it's already seen as, oh, they just, you know, it's only sex. They're only doing that, this, that, and the third, you know, all the crazy drugs and stuff like that. But I think it's more important to be, you know, a friend, like you guys are saying, you know, especially in our community. And especially being a Gen Z, you know, like Lovely was saying, it's a little bit different for us. We kind of grew up on the internet, but I still have, being a 97 baby, I still have that a little bit of the millennial in me. So I do have the in-person interactions as well. I'm pretty good with both. But yeah, it's a little bit different nowadays because everything is online for the most part. I mean, you know, y'all's generations definitely got the in-person experiences, but y'all have shifted to the online as well. So our generation, we started online, we still online, and we're still trying to figure all of that out as well. And, you know, you learn how to read through people.
I think that's what y'all missing, y'all, because we realize that once, even when we online, at one point we're going to have to meet this person.
But the rest of my generation does not.
So you know, I mean, maybe that's how I take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in that aspect, if I'm dating,
I do, but the rest of my generation does not.
I can agree with you,
And
especially when
I'm
you
gonna say this, Valley, in my concern, because you know I'm only a few years younger than you are. My concern about like the whole online thing is people online are going to show you your best, their best. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, people fall in love with the person online, right? And become kind of infatuated with that online persona, and then say for example it goes into real life, it's nothing like what they thought it was, right? Whereas like I think that especially my generation, generations before me, because we have that thing where we can meet organically, I think we have a better understanding of. Maybe I wouldn't say that, but I think we read people better than a lot of these newer generations do. Like I'm noticing a lot of, especially these people that are born. Let's say, y'all know. I know he's Gen Z. What's this? We in what Gen X? What are they? What are they now?
Alphas.
Okay, like what's the generation before them?
Yes,
I think it's Gen Z.
After 2012.
I think it's Gen Z.
2008 actually.
It's Gen Z. Valley is Gen Z, right?
Gen Z is all the way to 2009 or 2008 actually.
Because I'm in the real.
And then it's Gen Alpha.
Because I'm
It's Gen
laying
Z
down.
then Gen Alpha.
Okay, and so what I'm noticing is they're a lot more easily influenced by things online than we were, like indoctrinations and relationships. And then I noticed like when it crossovers into real life, they can't really handle it, if that makes sense. I think that's what's missing here, because
Online personas are louder than the in-person personas, and they fall in love with each other's online personas. Then when they get in each other's personal space, they can't deal with each other.
Right, and I think that's what's missing is just the human and natural interactions, right? Because even when I'm on it, like when I go into panels sometimes and we discussing marriage and relationships and things that.
Yeah, come on back, Kenneth. This is a good conversation.
Hold on, I got a phone call. What happened?
Come on back, Kenneth.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, Kenneth came to cause chaos when he know that woman don't play. That woman came on the dago chat one time. It Kenneth got all the way right. That black woman Kenneth got at home, got him in line. He the perfect example. Online life, he set himself free. That whole he gotta be quiet. But
like Depot.
I think that honestly, I think that what's missing is the ability to just interact socially without an online presence is what's missing in these like younger generations, because I mean, look how they interact with us. To develop a meaningful relationship. And so if they interact with us like that, imagine how they interact, trying to develop a meaningful relationship with somebody.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know. Yeah, it's like the communication is just off. Yeah, so with certain with that, you know what I'm saying? Like I know, my youngest daughter, she was born in 2011. Born in '84. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that generation. Like when I don't know, when I was going to school, man. I was born in '84, man. So I'm 41. So when I was going to school, it was just a certain way that my generation came up, and then there was a way we address adults. You know what I'm saying? So like I would bring my peoples from school, we'll come to the house, and then a few of my homies or my partners or whatever, they just knew how to address my mom or my grandmother or my uncles. Oh, hi brother, yada yada, or sister, yada yada, or Mr. yada yada. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain way we just mingle because it was the roots and how we was raised up. We didn't have social media dictating or influencing us to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But now these kids, man, what's the issue is that they spending way too much time on that damn cell phone and on the damn internet, and not really building the communication skills they should be building with when it comes to their parents and their peers. And then a lot of the parents nowadays, are they even raising the kids?
I think that's kind of the problem, because just like you said, our parents instilled in us how to talk to other people. So when we went to other people's houses, we already knew how to talk. That's not instilled at the house. How can you expect it to be still elsewhere? I mean, there's gonna be some children who gonna just naturally, I think, feel like, man, I should be respectful. If the trend is to be disrespectful to you, what I care about?
I
Yeah,
grew up
and I think
with
my daughter is
under.
a
I'm sorry,
teenager.
lovely.
Oh
I
no,
want
I
to
was
get this real
yeah,
quick
go
out.
ahead.
I
I'm
grew
sorry.
up with my mother, who is 60 years old, and my grandmother, who is about to be 80. So that's the difference between me and the rest of my generation. I grew up with two elders.
You probably listen to
That's what it is. You got an old soul, buddy.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I
communication is different.
do.
Even like my daughter's
You
a
probably listen
teenager.
to Otis Red and everything.
Yeah, you know. But that's the same thing with my daughter. Like my daughter is she a grandma baby through and through. She'll tell me to cut on some Al Green really quick, and then I think communication looks, and I'm understanding it differently for her because I have this open channel with my kids, right, and even my step kids, and even with her, like my daughter is a member of the LGBTQ. She's the L in the LGBTQ, and what I notice is she is, and I think it comes from like interactions, but she's less of the online presence and more so in person because she's like close with members within that community. And so I think that gives her some type of people skills as well because she's trying to have like-minded friends, right? Whereas and she's not, and then she plays basketball and stuff, so that's like her community. And I noticed like, when they come over and they just are here, they don't spend a lot of time online. And I think that comes with the parents too, because I kind of push her to kind of get out and get to know people. And I feel like, especially for somebody that's living her experience, it's important to have that community. And I feel like it's important for just parents in general to push their kids to have outside interactions. A lot of parents just let their kids sit on tablets and, as a way to escape, actually having to go out and parent, if that makes sense. And I think that's another issue we don't talk about. Is how, as parents, we have to really push our children to be outgoing versus letting them play with the tablets all the time and scrolling all the time. And that's what I've instilled in my children. But I more so did it like with my daughter, just pushing her to be more outgoing because of, her telling me what her experience was. And I just wanted her to have a community that understands her better, if that makes sense.
I dig
Oh, most definitely, I agree.
it. Gator, what's going on, man?
Now you, I was saying, now you want to come up?
How you doing?
Talk about it.
Doing good. I had to leave from your conversation yesterday.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Now you want to come up? You want to talk
Yeah,
about
no, the one yesterday was a little. I don't know what was going on with that one. I can't do this. I can't do this one. No. Nah, I mean, I like what y'all are talking about though. This is a cool. I'm Gen Z, or I'm 96, so I guess I'm on the cusp of Gen Z and the advent like of social media and the dating pool is so huge now, like with Hinge, Tinder, all that. I feel like the advent like of social media and the dating pool is so huge now, like with Hinge, Tinder, all that. You can see people across the world and you could see all your quote unquote options. I feel like with social media combined, it's almost like you're looking for that perfect person that matches every single one of your points that you might have just internalized from social media, or maybe you just are like have a list of things, and if that person doesn't meet every single one of the points, it's like, okay, no, I'm gonna go to the next person. And then the swiping culture makes it so easy to just like be a chance. So I feel like maybe a lot of people are finding it hard to find somebody now because they are trying to compare
to what they see, but combined with that, they see other people that are far away, and they might be like, "Oh, that person is probably the person for me," or this person is probably the person for me. I just need to keep swiping until I get to that person, and it just ends up being like an eternal thing. Like you'll never find the person that's perfect in every single way. And I know some people do. I'm sure some people have found that person that's perfect for them, but I'm sure they even can say like there are flaws. There are things that are not perfect about that kind of person that, if they didn't have that flaw, then I would be, I would prefer them not to have that flaw, but you still are with them because they match everything else and they're a compliment to you. So I feel like at least for the newer generations, they're kind of doing this thing where social media and just, I think it's more dating apps kind of create this false narrative where you have to find perfection. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think we should be looking for that. And I found success by trying not to do that. And I still use the apps and all, but I'm like, okay, like they meet at least 80%. That's all I'm looking for. I'm cool with that. And we'll go from there. We'll work on the rest, I guess. Yeah, I think that dating apps are kind of they cause issues. I think
they used to be.
In some cases, you might meet. Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate because it like Lovely was saying, you meet a facade, you meet their best, or in some cases, you might meet their worst. But it's a facade. It's not really who a person is, and also online personas don't. I mean, it grows and it goes through evolution, but a real human grows and changes, and you meet new people, so your mentality changes, etc. You don't necessarily see all of that online, right? So,
yeah. Because how could you know if people here on this line is being sincere, right, or honest and shit? So we can. How can I say we can allow. Right, like the conversation be the way it is, but you just gotta you can tell when some people are real honest, right? Like Lovely, she know because they hear me all the time speak about my wife. So they know where I'm coming from. Then y'all can also see my facade when I deal with certain people on these panels that try to bullshit people. Because the first thing it's my rule, I've always said to a lot of people, don't try to bullshit the bullshit. That's just my take. Because I know how to, I've been bullshitting all my life. So I know the shit when I see it. Shit a mile away. So that's just my take on people here on these panels.
I think online,
you know what I'm saying? I can spot a bullshitter a mile away.
Has that,
I'm just saying.
Trying to show, and then when you meet them, it might.
I agree. I think online is a persona. Everyone has that, perfect side they're trying to show, and then when you meet them, it might be a different thing. But I like dating apps just because you can do a background check on people before you meet them, and that's the thing. Because I don't want to be going with someone that's about to, I don't know, that's crazy. So I like that part of it.
Yeah,
I only met like one lady who was
like stalking or she
a little off her kills,
like knocking at the door, like
I
called my sister like, hey, what am I supposed to?
How off?
Like stalking or she came back to
the hey, my sister. I'm here. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
I called my sister like, hey, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I did.
No.
Hey, my sister lives in Ohio. I'm here in Georgia. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, yo.
Don't answer the door.
Yeah, I
did. The first thing you don't do is answer the fucking door. Secondly,
it was like, wait, like open, like she just popped up.
Yeah. Secondly, grab the bat or whatever type of weapon you have in the house and be ready to dial 911. Other than that, don't engage. Period.
What's going on, Perry? How you doing?
Con, what you doing on dating sites? I just caught that. I had to come up in here.
That was like 5-7 years
you
ago.
out here catching women like shiny little Pokemon and shit. That's
man, the dating apps was popping back then.
You used to be on the chat line, the little phone chat line too.
Yeah, I remember the AOL dial-up.
Damn, that's yeah. I think I wanted, but that was in Ohio.
Hey, Lovely, I still got my AOL account.
I still got my AOL account.
Yeah, my kids make fun of me about my AOL account.
And look,
Hey,
my
I
mom,
love
my
my
mom's
AOL.
AOL is still her primary account, her AOL account.
AOL,
You know what?
Yeah,
AOL
Con.
still
Yeah.
has accurate
I'm Gmail
information
now.
too. I love
Gmail is my
AOL for
main
that.
account.
shout out to all of us young ladies out there who pretended we were 18 when they asked ASL. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Good time.
That's why my mom was like, "You
Look,
cannot go
I
on
used to
those things.
unplug that
Not go
phone
on that."
cord and plug it in the computer. Oh, those are good days.
It was the good old days.
What you talking about, Con? Why look like you in a corporate office?
We was talking about what was we were just talking about love and relationships. So I probably didn't really go out.
Oh man, you know what? That's crazy. I'm a clinical mental health counselor.
You should have been. I guess you should have been there when they had one guy came on this panel.
Oh, that's her favorite too. Denali was kind of wild.
Yeah, this.
Oh
dude,
no, Denali runs from me anyway. He blocks me every
That's
time I try to
that's
pop up in his
okay.
shit.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like everybody know this person, man. What the fuck?
You know, he
damn.
knew, like he blocked, like he kicked me from his chat because I told him that he sounded very feminine, sir. I was like, sir, you're behaving
Don't
feminine.
even
and I'm not
bring
here
his
for it.
You know, I
ass
think it was
up on
teased about
here.
his voice too, like that. So that's the kind of like it's
And
some
Con,
men, like I think that's the problem. Like we don't know how to express our emotions when we feel hurt, and because we think it's not manly. So, you know what I'm saying? Saying like you hurt my feelings. Say like no, like you like say, you know, being sincerely like. But we have like I was
Sincere
really
question for the men on the panel. Why do y'all do that?
express ourselves because we have to be. I think society deems you as you have to be tough. But we have to get back from that mantra. Like we should be able to express ourselves too.
That's why I believe that
100%.
feminism helps men too. Feminism does help men because it allows you guys to express your emotions because only because of the patriarchy you operate and think the way you do. No one ever said it's a weakness to cry. It's actually a strength.
Yeah, I think for a household when you're married and stuff, and I agree with everything you all are saying. But I think for a household sometimes, you know, as a male, you know, for my lady and my child and stuff like that, that I kind of have to put on that image as well sometimes to make them feel more secure. That's the only thing, small portion of what y'all are saying that I think sometimes men, you know, should kind of keep a little bit not as much as the balance. You know, you should talk to people, you should cry, you should do all those things, but you know, for your household, you gotta. To me, I think that sometimes it's best to make them feel as secure as possible. You know, because anything can change, all types of things.
You say secure
happen in the world, but you need to understand that you're there to always be that backbone to where they don't, you know, shouldn't have to worry about things.
When you say secure, what aspects do you mean, like financially, or like literally protection, or all those aspects?
Yeah, all those aspects, strong, you know, but at the same time, you know, you can talk to your wife on the side, you know, but in front of your child and stuff, you know, so they have a ring and upbringing that they feel secure. You know, men, you can show your emotions, fun, laughter, love, all those things. But when it comes to like, you know, crying and stuff, I try to, you know, minimize that in front of my child because I think that'll make him feel more insecure about what his future looks like. Does that make sense?
No, my dad cried in front of me. I thought he was a real dude for it. And it actually made me express myself better at times. But I'm not plenty of times.
But I'm gonna say this, and I just see.
But I did what you said, though, Richard.
Yeah, that's something that was
Conscious, I dig what you say as well, man. I appreciate that because I could learn to be, you know, a little bit more, you know.
But I get what you said too. The balance, though, you have to be, you got to stay ready. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to get ready. I get what you're saying too, but you have to also like be a teddy bear in a sense. I get what you're saying.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and so that comes into play when we say nobody is perfect, right? And I think just at some aspects of it, you have just men that just naturally like cannot be vulnerable for those specific reasons, right? You know, I know men where you can tell them like, hey, you know, you could cry, you can be able to say, and they just refuse to do it. And then I feel like if you have been with this person, you know, for a certain amount of time and things like do you think that a man is not completely comfortable with his mate, if he just can't seem to get to that point where he can, I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to say just be feminine. That's not the word I should use, but be vulnerable in a sense where he may view it as being feminine, but it's really not feminine.
As a man.
Well, I mean, I think unfortunately, some women reinforce that gender role where you shouldn't be crying as a man, and it's reinforced even through like your parents, right? So it's like, okay, well, you feel uncomfortable doing it, even if it's a perfectly comfortable situation, like you're with your partner and you feel perfectly comfortable with them, but it's almost like an ingrained thing because it's just been reinforced throughout your life. So it takes time to unlearn that kind of thing. I mean, in the comments, there's someone that said their nephew was crying and they told him to stop crying because you shouldn't cry as a man. So, I mean,
there's a lot of things like that, but also look at it like this too. Like if a man is getting like a birthday celebration and he just gets up there and balls in front of everybody, the mice are going to scurry and they're going to have so many side conversations. You know what I mean? Like it is society and the viewpoint that society creates for men that kind of drives those things too. I agree with you.
I'm sad because first of all, I will say women can be toxic too. And that's why a lot of men don't open up to who they're with about the processes that goes on in their lives. It's really a sad system because it still falls under the patriarchy model that even women still sometimes operate within when it comes to men, and it's not fair. It's just not, because a woman, I don't know how they separated. They could have a son and watch their son cry and be compassionate and uplifting and positive, but if their boyfriend or their man cries, now something in her mind is saying he's almost weak. I don't understand that, man. And
is it because
it's not to understand
passion and love when you see him? Because if you can do that in one, when you see a little boy, that little boy eventually grows up to be a man. And if you're the mother sitting here showing him compassion and love when you first see him crying, why can't you do that when he's a man? That's like a social, like you're almost like dissociate from your own morals and values, because now you're like a split person.
Is there a difference between a boy and a man?
Yes, I mean, kind of yes and no.
What you mean kind of?
I would say yes and no, because whether you're a boy, a teenager, or a man, you still experience sadness, pain, self-doubt, grief. You still experience all these things. That does not change.
But as a boy, you turn into a man, right?
What is that? I mean, true, but I'm talking about at the same very core. At the core of everything. You're still a male. At the core of everything, no matter how old you get or how young you are, you still will always have these emotions.
You grow out of your baby teeth and get your adult teeth, right?
But you still have teeth.
It's still teeth.
No, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Colin. Don't. I'm being very clear. You grow out of that childish way and grow into a manly way.
It's not childish to be sad, to be upset or sad or to be afraid or to have self-doubt. That's not childish. These are just regular human emotions. It doesn't matter how old or young you are.
Perry, let's say this. Do kids just cry for no reason?
It might be a valid reason to them, but not a valid reason to you.
Do kids just cry for no reason?
I wouldn't say
my son would literally cry when nobody's looking at him, and then you look at him and start crying. So do kids cry for no reason?
Yes.
So that's his reason.
I don't think so. I think it's a valid reason in his mind.
That's his reason to
HBK. When you say the reason he was crying is for attention,
yes, exactly.
So that's his reason.
That's his reason.
Attention
might
is no
not be
reason.
valid to us, but that's his reason to him.
Attention is no reason.
But he's
what I'm trying to say is, as the older you get,
His wife.
you grow out of those childish ways.
And for
Oh, they
attention.
just evolve.
Now you're doing something else. for
Now he's a
attention. Now you're going on
30-year-old man
social
crying
media.
because his wife won't give him attention.
Or you're going on social media and trying to get attention in other ways.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
Another
see my
example
point.
would be when my son was little. I'm so glad he outgrew this. Like, I never told him to stop crying or anything like that. But every time he cried, all the way up to, I think he just stopped that in 6th grade. I used to just in my head, like, why that boy always crying all the time? And then I never told him. I just looked after what was wrong. But in the back of my head, I sure hope he outgrow this. No. But anyway, that's that. I
To
just
be
want
honest, I don't think they're wrong with adult men crying, but I think sometimes just left in private. Yeah, you don't gotta be crying in front of everybody.
You know what I do? You know what I do? I cry in the shower. No one can see my fear.
Me too.
A lot of women do that too.
When
A
my
lot of
son
women,
died,
surprisingly enough, a lot of women
when
do
my
that.
son died, I didn't cry at the funeral. I didn't cry at any of the place. I cried right at my home, mind my business.
Why are you?
Yeah,
my mother and my father.
so when it comes to my son, he, started crying, and I just asked him. I said, "Why are you crying?"
Making him,
And he said, he was like, "I hurt," and I was like, "What's hurting?" And I just kept questioning him and kind of asking him, making him kind of realize, what he's experiencing, instead of forcing it on him, instead of saying, stop crying. I wanted him to realize, the emotions and the things he was experiencing as compared to, and and when you ask him that too, it kind of leads to, the subtle form that's hidden behind it is like, you shouldn't be crying, which I don't necessarily want to project, but I do want him to realize, why he's crying. And he start realizing that on his own, and, he'll fall now and get up and look at himself and brush himself off and be like, I'm not tore up, and go right back to playing now,
But I have a question though. There is a problem with not telling kids don't cry. Like y'all make it seem like kids. There's a problem. If your kid's gonna be playing sports and stuff, and I'm not trying to say soft, I'm not trying to say feminine, but you don't want no crybaby ass kid on your team. Like, you gotta say, oh, we lost a game, busting out crying every single game. Like, nobody wants to see that shit. You gotta tell the man up sometimes.
You don't have to tell them to stop crying. You can awake people up in different ways instead of forcing your viewpoint on them, right? So when you, like I was describing with my child, I asked him why he was crying. He was like, I'm hurt. And then I asked him questions. Are you really hurt? Are you really messed up about what has happened right now? Or you just want to vent to yourself. And when they started thinking about those things, he naturally stopped crying and started realizing that the aspect of crying and what his purpose is, right? When you force it on a child, you're kind of denying them their own emotion. Everybody is entitled to their emotion at any given time, but when you force them to deny their emotions, you're taking an authoritative standpoint on them, and they're not really decompressing and understanding what's actually happening.
Yeah, I was going to say that in tears, you have what's called cortisol. So the reason why you cry is to release the stress hormone cortisol. And what can cortisol do? Make your cheeks all puffy. It can cause a lot of other shit going on. But basically, you were built to cry. That's why you cry. So I grew up in a home where you had to suck it up. Whether you didn't, that affection and compassion was never reciprocated. And then I found in my adult life, I would be afraid to hug someone, not because I'm afraid of hugs, but because I didn't know if I was hugging them correctly. Because I didn't know what that felt like to have a genuine hug. So it does cause life. It does carry on with you in your adulthood, whether you're a child, a teenager, or not. You will be carrying these things with you subconsciously, and how they show up in relationships is it can be very toxic, and not because you're a horrible person, but because you can't reciprocate something you never had.
Wait.
Hey, Perry, I can tell you studied as well. You've evaluated.
Hold up, Perry. I got a question there.
Yes, sir.
So by what you just said, when you said we're supposed to cry, it's in our it's in us to actually cry when we're supposed to. So if we hold back, certain men, would you characterize that as being a stressful thing, since we don't try to relieve it?
Yes, it adds some more stress. If you think about it,
that's the question. That's what I wanted it to be. So by that, that's the reason why couples have bad relationships in their marriage or in a relationship, because when men try to not
the silent unaliver stress
release that tension,
people every day.
it just builds up, which causes more tension.
Well, they call it the silent unaliver. Stress is a silent unaliver. It takes people every day, but it's just, you were built to cry. It's not
Well,
like
I want to point out
weakness.
something. You just misled everybody in this panel.
I did not mislead anyone, sir.
You said that
I'm literally a clinical mental.
Okay, that's cool. That's
I literally do this.
I know
for a
y'all
living.
always nurses. Y'all always.
It's literally on my. It's on
So
my TikTok
you
profile.
said that the emotions help flesh out the stress hormones, cortisol, right?
Yes.
That's not a widely accepted theory. That's
you
that's
sure?
still been, yes, 100%. It's still been it's not widely
There's
accepted.
a person and a parent that had to go to therapy to basically deal with some things within my parenting. This is the thing. I have sons, I have stepsons, and sometimes as parents, we have to go to therapy to kind of deconstruct the things we learned from my parents, because my parents weren't very affectionate either.
Yeah.
And I'm very affected, and I'm gonna say this, like, period. I understand what you're saying, because
you're a woman,
prior to like my youngest son, he's much younger than the other children. I'm talking about by like a decade or more. And the thing is, right, I had to learn to be affectionate. Like, I had to go to therapy to learn how to be affectionate with my own children. Because, like, even with my daughter, right, she is taller than me, and she will get up under me and still need that hug at her big age. And I remember as an adult, I had experienced something, and I wanted a hug so bad from my mom, and I gave my mom a hug, and then I realized my mom did not know how to hug me back. In fact, my mom tensed up because she was kind of uncomfortable. And I remember as her child, it made me uncomfortable when I was an adult woman at the time. And so now, believe it or not, we have to, like, even learn something simple as how to give the right hug. And when you're like raising children, when you want emotionally and mentally healthy children, right, you have to have that affection part of it, whether it be a little girl or a little boy, right? And I had to go to therapy for that. I did, because I remember how uncomfortable I made my mom feel when I just grabbed her because I needed a hug so bad, and she truly did not know how to hug me back. Like, she hugged me back, but it was more of like one of those uncomfortable cat hugs, like you really don't want to be touched. If that makes sense.
You tensed lonely. In major pain, lonely.
It's not lonely. It's
in major
lovely.
pain.
It's
He goes,
lovely.
are you plotting on me? In major pain, he's like, you plotting
But
on
no,
me?
it's because my mom
She didn't know how to
did
reciprocate it.
yeah, my mom did very well, like, as far as raising her children. Like, all of her children are doing well. But one thing that I remember, we actually went through like a family counseling session with my mom one time, and the thing all four of us said was that we wish our mom was more affectionate, right? And she said, look at how y'all, she was like, I can leave here now and y'all gonna be just fine. Y'all doing fine. I did what I was supposed to do. But we had to learn how to kind of regulate our emotions by going to therapy as adults. Like we did, because even as a young teenager, a young woman or whatever, I ended up having my daughter early because, what I thought was affection and love and stuff, it wasn't. It was more of a control aspect, right? Whereas the experience with my sons are totally different. They're totally different with, my husband. But so one thing I knew I wanted was I wanted to learn how to be affectionate with my children because even after that family session, like even today, like my mom has a level of affection for her grandkids, but when it comes to her actual children, it's still very difficult. She goes to, well, shit, I did what I was supposed to do. I raised y'all. Y'all all doing good. I'm proud of all of y'all. Y'all didn't need no damn hugs to get to where you are. But for that comfort, we did need that hug. No, that's not the same.
You said she didn't hug you right, but when you got sick, was she there?
Just so we can
When you hurt yourself, was she there?
No, that's not the same. You can't
Okay,
equate
so
the two.
lovely. I wanted to piggyback with Ken on what he said real quick, just so we can clarify. When you look it up, it says yes, emotional crying acts as a natural stress reduction mechanism that releases and lowers the levels of cortisol, primary stress hormone from the body, flushed out of the system. It goes even further down to it. So what it does, emotional tears contain high levels of cortisol along with other hormones like adrenaline and prolactin, which are flushed out of the system. The psychological calm. Crying triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body relax after a period of high stress. While you're crying, while releasing cortisol, crying also stimulates. Hold on, sir. Give me 1 second.
It's not widely accepted.
No, give me 1 second.
You can rebut her.
It says, while releasing cortisol, crying also stimulates the production of endorphins and oxytocin, which can help improve mood and reduce physical or emotional pain. So, like, if someone had a really big crying fit, have they ever noticed that once they were done crying, they get so calm and relaxed that they fall asleep? That's the whole point. That's why you have tear ducts. Why would you have something?
I'm just not
paid, bro. Supposed to use them.
Yep. Period. Man, I remember that shit when I was a kid, man, crying my ass off and then go right to fucking sleep out there.
Yep.
You mean to tell me that was?
It's my turn. It's my turn, rebuttal. So he's wrong.
It's she, by the way.
Hey, hold up, HBK. So you saying that when I was a kid and I was crying so hard, and then afterward I fall asleep, it didn't happen to me?
No, what I'm saying is, crying does release pain. Natural physical chemicals called I think it's with an O, oxytocin and some shit like that. But
he says,
it releases that. I'm not arguing that point. I'm not arguing that crying doesn't release feel good pain chemicals. What I'm arguing is the fact that he says that it releases stress hormones like cortisol.
Met a woman named Perry.
So what?
It's she.
Who?
Perry is a she. HBK.
Why his name Perry?
That's my last name. My name is Perry because I served in the military and they always address us by last name.
Well, but that aside, the person on the left side said.
But you know it's a she now. HBK, you want to argue with her by she telling you she's a she?
I didn't say she wasn't a she or he. I just said the person on the side.
But you said, well, her name is Perry.
My fault.
It doesn't matter whether her name.
I said the person on the left side. I didn't say names.
Why don't you just apologize?
I'm not apologizing. What the fuck I gotta apologize for? Guys, I admitted
okay. That just shows who you are.
I knew
I am.
But y'all know HBK already. Y'all already know HBK.
Hold on.
I don't get offended by that. How y'all gonna drop him? I've been clapping cheeks for a long time. It's all pink on the
I didn't
inside. I
drop
don't care.
HBK. I don't know who dropped him because I would have kept him up here because
Why y'all drop
HBK is
HBK
easy.
for?
He's easy. I could talk to him. I was just gonna talk to him.
Come back, HBK.
Why y'all drop that man? Because he didn't want to apologize? Y'all gotta stop this, man.
To apologize to me. I kind of tell you, I'm not weak up here. He ain't got to apologize for me. I get do it on the internet.
I just want to say this really, really quickly because I actually dropped them because they could come back, but I wanted to get this out, and I knew they wouldn't let me get it out. But this is a very healthy conversation, and I don't want it to go sideways by us just arguing because it's really people in the comments that are relating to some of the things that are being
said. Because you hear it in the you see it in
and I think this conversation needs to stay healthy.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Lovely, right? Because especially like what you was just saying earlier about the emotions when you get you wasn't getting that right type of hug from your mom and shit. We've all gone through that. But my thing is, right? Because here's my testimony on something.
That a little bit more.
I have a
what's the right type of hug, Pimpin'? I just wanted to understand that a little bit more.
I mean, a hug, it should be the hug that's a caring hug, right? An affectionate hug. It's no other hug.
Now, what if your mother is not really the affectionate type? That's just not who she is.
No, and I agree with you. Like, I'm just saying the right hug. You said, what's the right hug? I'm not gonna combat a person who doesn't want to do the right hug. You just asked me the question, what is the right hug? And that's the hug that you show that child how much you love them. Period. Where the trauma gonna be? Because as a parent, that's what you're supposed to. If you don't, then that's where the trauma gonna be comes into effect with that child. Because you got the prime example. Lovely just said it.
What happened, P?
Did we not hear Lovely?
Let me show you what happened, P. 1 second.
But Lovely,
hold on, wait. No, I just want to listen. I want to show P. I want to show P the difference. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Damn, P.
No, because this is important.
Oh,
like,
no. I just like to bring a different perspective. I just like to bring a different perspective.
No.
I would say it's whatever.
No, I'm saying
no, whatever you perceive to be.
I can't
Pete, hold on, wait.
say my testimony. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, love. Go ahead.
Can you give mommy hug? Okay, look. Did you see how he just embraced me, P? Like he got his whole body on me.
Right.
I did this to my mom. She was like,
I do think that's
versus like this hug.
But I hear you guys. But I do think that's but I think that's
the difference versus just
if you don't. I hear you guys, but the reason why I brought it up is because now we are now saying that if you don't hug that way, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Which I love that hug. That hug is amazing, and I think that that's a great hug that most. But my son, first of all, does not even like those type of hugs. He likes a side hug. And first, he's older now, so when they were little, they would do that. That age, oh my God, I would get those hugs. But now that they're teens, it's a side hug sort of scenario. So I just wanted to get a better understanding of that from pimping, and also it evolves when they become teenagers, because then you start teaching them how to do side hugs with girls they may like, and they're not walking up and doing all that stuff, because that may affect them later on in life and getting in trouble and stuff like that. So I was just asking, because that age, my boys did do that hug. They did.
I have a question. More so the energy, though. When you
Yeah,
say,
it's-
like,
and I was
energy
gonna say
you
this-
put into
okay,
it,
so
not
bro,
the
so we're-
mannerisms. Like
so-
if she
so
would
we're-
have like the energy, like you know what I'm saying,
and I'm gonna say
versus
this,
like
I was
tapping
an
is
adult
like.
when I gave him
I
my
agree.
hug.
I totally agree with you guys too. Because I agree, but you can give love in different ways without giving a hug.
Some
You know what I'm saying?
people
Love
don't
is
know how to
expressed
share.
because different people have different love language. Some people don't like touch, and touch is not a love language for them. So a lot of times it doesn't come down to a hug. You showing up for the child, and they're seeing you in spaces, and you're encouraging them and using your words. It's a hug too. You see what I'm saying? So I was just bringing.
Yeah, but what I would say to Pete, for me, I was a young adult, right? And even now, even sometimes, even my brother who is in his 30s, he's married with his family or whatever. He's even expressed that there have been those moments, him as a man. I'm talking about, we talked about this in family therapy, and I get everybody's not a hugger. I understand that. But he even expressed how, even as an adult man, right, he may go and go. My brother he was stationed in Bahrain for 3 years and didn't see my mom. And then he expressed how when he got back stateside, he just wanted to give his mama a big old hug. You get what I'm saying? But because it's that, oh, I know my mom's not affectionate, let me just, lean to the side or whatever. And sometimes you have children, even I'm talking about the ones that are adults that may desire that type of hug or whatever. And like myself, I was going through something and I hugged my mom like my young son just hugged me. And she gave me like this, oh, she tensed up, oh, it's uncomfortable, it's this. But even if you necessarily have people that don't want to hug or whatever, if you have a child that desires that as a parent, you should be able to give that. And that's just my opinion.
You may not be able to. You may not be able to. It could be trauma or anything that you're going through in those circumstances. So what I want you guys to know that parents are human too, just like children are human. And those conversations need to happen because perhaps when that child gets older, that parent can say, these are the reasons, but to force something over on it. I don't like when people
I would never advocate.
Hold on. I don't like when people walk up and they just like start hugging my boys and be like, Auntie told you, come here, give me a hug. And they putting on all them hugs and stuff on. And you could tell they don't want it. It's the same. It goes both ways. You know what I mean? So as a parent, if you know that that's a struggle for you, you build upon your strengths. So what are your strengths? What are the things? Because it could be you want to work up to a hug, but that may not be where you're at. So we have to remember parents are human too. We're not perfect.
So you have a psychological disorder that refuses to let you bend to. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. There's a psychological disorder that you're experiencing that is creating a refusal to bend and reduce your selfishness to allow someone else to embrace what they want to experience. That's what's happening.
Because he Miss P, hold on. That you feel that way, and I respect that. I respect it.
No, it's actually the truth about it. Because you can't. Hold on, everybody. Let me land my plane. If you can't actually bend to your bloodline, who is a direct coming from you, and their emotional needs and their desire of support, and you can't bend from that, that is your own selfishness of what you desire and what you're trying to create about life. Therefore, you're denying.
Did y'all notice that he missed my whole point when I gave other examples that you could bring warm fuzzies to people, but he only sees it one way.
Hold on. I'm just stating what is factually exists in the universe and nature. When you're denying, hold on, it's not an opinion. What it is that it is your own selfishness that allows you to not bend, to adjust to what someone else that loves you wants to experience. And if you can't do that, that means that it is your own issues, sociological issues that you're experiencing. Because if you didn't have a sociological issue, it'd be easy for you to sit back and just say, here, I'm going to give you a hug and I want to embrace what you're experiencing. But because you are the individual having that sociological experience, which is creating a dissonance, which is a reverb of negativity between that relationship because they desire something and you don't, it all goes back to your own selfishness.
It's crazy. I don't like when people they push that narrative that being selfish is wrong. Thinking about yourself is wrong. That's wild as shit.
No, that's not okay. So my youngest client is 16. My oldest client is 74. So I wouldn't agree with that because what I tell people who especially has experienced trauma, there's things called triggers, right? And it could be a person, place, thing, smell, phrase. And so a lot of times when you operate from your survival brain, which is the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, that's evolved over time. We're not running from saber-tooth tigers anymore. So fight could be arguing, freeze could be flight could be just being avoidant, freeze could be emotionally shutting down. So when it comes to hugs, it's whatever you deem that hug to be. There's no such thing as a perfect hug. There's not one universal way you can hug someone that everyone will feel comfortable because you don't know everybody's story. And a lot of times when people suffer through trauma in their childhood or teenage years, they get into this loop of, in their survival brain. So they always approach situations from the framework of the trauma. And they do this subconsciously. It's not intentional. So for her, she might be triggered just by having random people come up and just hug her children because who knows, something could have happened to her when she was a child and someone randomly did that to her. And that sent something, a memory point in her brain that no, this isn't okay. We don't let people do that, because when we let people do that, things like this happen. That's how the human brain works. It's not black and white there. It's very vast. We know more about outer space than we do about the human brain. So there's no such thing as a perfect hug, but I would say whatever you deem that hug to be, if it makes you feel relaxed and comfortable, then that is a good hug for you. But it may not be for the next person.
But Perry, what I was just saying, Perry, what I was just saying.
I was speaking solely. Hold on one second. I was speaking. Hold on. I was speaking solely between parent and child. I wasn't speaking to like just random. I don't allow my kids to just hug random people. But I just feel like for once my mom could have broke down and just gave, because it's not the hug is the energy that comes with it. You know what I mean? And I feel like it may be selfish on my part, me feeling like she should have been capable, right? But I felt like in that moment, considering especially like we weren't this huge hugging family in that moment, I felt like she could have just stepped outside of herself, like as my mom, and gave me that affectionate energy that I needed at that time, because it's not something that just I don't really know how to describe it, but it just made me. It just didn't. It's like it's hard to describe, but I needed a certain type of energy from my mom in that moment, and I did not get it. And that's something that carried with me, and that's why on one hand, as a parent, I have to take responsibility, even if I'm not super affectionate. I have to be affectionate if I see that my child is affectionate, right? Like my little man right here, he all in my face or whatever. If he want to hug, okay, even if I don't feel like it, come on, baby, I'm finna give you this hug. And I do that because I remember myself as a young adult. Oh Lord, now he giving me a hug. All right. And because I remember myself as a young adult, like I just ran and gave my mom this hug, and I was just crying and crying and crying about this situation I was going through. And it was like all I received was like these pats on the back. Like, and I understand parents are not perfect; they go through things too. But in certain moments, you have to still, like, I'm a parent. My child needs me in a certain energy from me in this moment.
So I'm gonna ask to see that this is the next thing I want to say, and this is to everyone on the panel. So what happens when it's not your child? And the reason why I asked that, and you got to give a hug to a different child, somebody else's child. And the reason why I asked y'all that, because my daughters, I was always there. They ended up being on the softball team, practicing a game. And because I was always there attending practicing a game, the coach asked me to be a coach on the team. Like whenever she's not around, she needed a coach to step in for her. So they had to do a background check on me, the school district, in which I would have had passed, because I know Lovely know what I'm talking about. As a truck driver, we do a FBI background check. And the reason why, because of hazardous material. You can't be a felony driving hazardous material. And the reason why is that 80,000 pound truck can now be an 80,000 pound BOMB. So we're not allowed as truck drivers with a felony to drive hazardous material. So I knew my background was gonna pass. 30 years driving. You had to do it every. I think it's every 7 years. Was it every 7 years? We had to do that background check, love. I forgot. I think it's every 7 years. Every 2 years the physical. So I think it was every. Yeah, every time you had the license renewed. So you had to do that. The hazmat background check. But back to what I was saying, I was she asked me to be a softball coach. So, I mean, my daughters play on the team, so yeah. So what happens when a kid come up to you that need a hug? They struggling, I guess, at home, or they struggling in school, and these kids need a hug. What y'all gonna do? Not hug them? Not be there to support them? It's everyone on the panel. This is the question I'm gonna ask. This is for everyone on the panel. What do y'all do?
I give out side hugs.
She said she'd give her. Yeah, she.
But you'll give out a side hug, but wouldn't give that same hug to your child.
I'm a
I didn't say that. I never told you guys that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not.
That was an
saying
example I
that.
gave.
I'm not saying that. I'm not coming at you like.
I know we got to get your base.
Literally said side hug, and you said you'll give out a side hug, and you don't hug your kids. That's what you said.
But no, Miss P, we're in this. We're having a conversation about.
We're just trying to
like the experience Lovely was having with her parent.
Right.
So we're just trying to put it in a perspective. Like, what do we do?
A side hug.
Yeah.
Right? If now it's
That's why I said I would give out a side hug. I answered
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
A side hug.
Yeah. But again, I mean, if when this is what we talk about selfishness, do that selfishness come into play when it
There's no
comes?
selfishness. They still got a hug. I'm going to give out a side hug. I'm going to say something encouraging, something. Let them know that I'm here if they need to talk. They're going to know. They know. They feel the energy from a person. There's nothing wrong with me giving out a side hug.
But I'm just saying. So what I'm
has to be. I think it's like what you're talking about. You know, I think each hug has to be used with discernment. We have to all gauge the level of of where we are with this person. Pimp, what you're referring to, I think a real level of discernment has to be used in that situation, especially dealing with kids. You know, because I'm a coach as well. So, I know I have to go in and, conduct myself a certain way. These hugs have to be appropriate hugs.
Correct.
That's what, when you're dealing with that group. But, more so when you're dealing with adults, I think we have to use a lot of discretion when we're dealing with adults going in and giving hugs. Our friends, our close friends, we know that we can give them hugs, might, give them a little, smack on a kiss on the cheek or whatever when we're giving a hug, whatever the case may be. But everything has to be used with discretion. We can't go through life using the same type of hug for everybody, because that's how we end up in, the wrong situation if we're not careful.
Hold on, Tone. I ain't giving no grown ass man no kiss on the cheek.
I'm talking about when you're dealing with women.
Oh, okay. Yeah, clarify that, nigga. Clarify that, nigga.
Man, why I gotta clarify that, man? Why everything gotta be clarified?
That's funny because different cultures men get kissed on cheeks, but you guys want to be to
I mean, but you gotta remember.
I think you mean certain type of man, like random. So like your family ain't never gave you, like your pops ain't never gave you a kiss on the cheek.
But that's I think. Yeah, my son, I give him a kiss on the cheek every time I give him a hug. A kiss on the forehead. That's my son.
But that's I think it's
yeah, but I never had sons, but no, I lost. Yeah, me growing up,
the masculinity took over with him. Him heard,
but he wants to be rigid with me.
No, I wasn't rigid with you. I'm
Absolutely.
In the conversation,
you did, and then when he brought up an example of a kiss on the cheek, and because you was a man, you flipped out.
See, now you taking it the wrong.
Well, I mean, society-wise, like he said, in some cultures, men greet each other like that. In other cultures, it all depends on the society you live in. That sets the tone of how men behave.
In the Spanish culture, in the Spanish culture, man or woman, that's acceptable, and it's no harm taken. That's why it's like we got to get away from like thinking certain ways and just use discernment in every situation that we go into.
So let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that gender roles are still needed today?
Two frameworks. Well, I mean, the framework of a gender role is based in two frameworks of masculinity and femininity. So it doesn't really matter which way you spin it. Someone's always going to be the more feminine. Someone's always going to be the more dominant. Not because they're playing a role. That's just who they naturally are, just in general. So when they stand side by side, you can be like, okay, that person's more feminine, that person's more dominant. You don't even have to ask. You can just tell. But that has nothing to do with relationship dynamics. It's just how they present just in everyday life. Oh yeah, I get misgendered all the time.
Yes, I agree 100% with that.
I'm just uber confident. You know what I'm saying? I'm just very confident. Misgendered all the time. I just don't give a shit. And you know, that's just me. I'm just uber confident. You know what I'm saying? I'm just very confident in who I am. I know I'm that shit when I wake up in the morning. I care less if you like it or not, because somebody does. And nobody's paying my bills. Yeah, nobody's paying my
all you
bills.
want, I'm that nigga and that bitch, like Duran Bernard said.
Yeah, it is what it is. Either you're gonna accept it or you're not. But I mean, I think America itself is a very violent country. Its literal creation was based in violence and genocide. So you see this a lot in our interpersonal relationships, that there has to be this black and white thinking, like, oh, someone has to be the female, someone has to be the book. So if a man does this, a man's feminine. If a man sits and eats an ice cream cone a certain way, all of a sudden he's feminine. And which really, to me, it sounds a lot like projection, because I've never looked at anyone that hard. Never. I could care. Why do I care? If a man wants to cry, let him cry. Let him cry. So what?
I think there's a lot of people that force it. Like you were talking about, Kanye, like a gender role is needed. I think people think they're needed in a way where I, as a man, or somebody as a woman.
I really feel like a lot of people, not most people, I think a lot of people do force themselves into a role that they are not naturally equipped to do, or should be doing, or even want to do. Really, to be honest, they might not even want to do that. They just do it because society is like, yeah, that's what you should be doing.
Should be doing, or even want to do. Really, to be honest, they might not even want to do that. They just do it because society is like, yeah, that's what you should be doing.
I'm not gonna have a group of European indoctrination. This is the same fucking society. You know what? I'm not gonna talk about American culture, because I'm not gonna have a group of European indoctrination who used to wear wigs and heels tell anybody what it means to be a man and what it does.
Hold on.
Okay, what it means to be a man is just to be a man.
They still wear them wigs. In some states, they still wear them wigs when they step off in the courtroom.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever it is to be a man, as a woman, I can't tell you the experience on what it's like to be a man. I do not know, therefore I won't speak on that. And that's another thing our society has a problem with. I am totally fine saying I don't know what it feels like to be a man, but I'm willing to listen, understand from a man's perspective. Because the only person who knows what it is to be a man, I would say, would probably be a man, because all the time, you guys have a nasty overhaul of testosterone, and that has to be a bitch and a half to keep contained all the time.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that statement that they put out into the political atmosphere this go round, by them asking what is a woman, and at the same time not asking what is a man, when half these bitch ass niggas don't even live up to that role or the expectation of being a man. They never even question that shit.
Because
we just seen what happened with Christy Noam's husband.
I'll have something that blows your mind. You know why they never come after trans men? It's because they're not attracted to them. That's the thing. So it's basically built on attraction. That's why they're saying what is a woman, because they can't help the fact that they're attracted to them. But by the way, they're very beautiful. They don't even know if they standing in the bathroom next to some of these men. Exactly. Like they don't even know if the reason. They don't even like. Why are you really going in the stall? Are you taking a shit? Or you know what I'm saying? But the reason why this always this big trans debate, completely content with who he is, it doesn't matter who's in the room with him. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why this always this big trans debate, you never hear them talk about trans men. Why? Because men aren't attracted to trans men, but they do find attraction to trans women. That's why they're at the forefront of the conversation. Because if it was really about trans people in general, they would be speaking on both of them. But you'll notice they only talk about one. That's because they can't help they're attracted to it. And that's a personal thing that they should go ahead and figure out for themselves. It ain't got nothing to do with us. I'm not gonna lay up in the I've sat in the room with plenty men. I'm gay. It doesn't matter. Nothing's moving, baby. Yeah, that's what ain't nothing going on here. I don't care who breaks my heart. I'm not gonna lay up in a man's arms. That's just not who I am. Not going.
It's all a projection.
What's going on? Yeah, that's what I think it is, because I've been around confident men. if a man ain't rocking that way, he's not going that way. It don't matter what's going on. He don't care. That ain't what he do. Respect somebody is when they adequately. That's not who he is. That's not what he do. Now and these are well-to-do men. The only time I've ever seen a man disrespect somebody is when they adequately said, "Hey, I'm not into that stuff," and that person kept pressing them. That's on you. You want to poke a bear, then you're gonna have to deal with that. Because if they tell you no, no means no, and it's the same thing we teach our young ladies. That rule should apply to men as well. If a man tells you no, back your ass up. Back it on up.
TikTok, is that okay? P-Hub?
Crazy because when you look at the rates of how do I say it on TikTok? Is that okay? P-Hub? If they show the categories and all for each state.
You gotta say
Corn. Corn. They look at the rates of each, like the categories in each state. If you look at the states that are the most viewed for the T category, it's the conservative states. Isn't that crazy? The same people who are so up in arms are the ones watching. So what's going on?
But you got to remember, those are also the men that are having problem getting girls. Those are also the men like Kenneth. I'm gonna just use his name that hate women.
Don't use
Steve Bannon. I use a lot of these men, MAGA men, as examples because these MAGA men are prime examples of what's wrong with them. Because they're the main ones not getting laid, main ones not holding down jobs. I'm trying to talk while you sitting here making all these goddamn.
Let me tell you, I've been hanging out with dudes my whole life because I'm a stud. I ain't never but he got a point though. Let me tell you, listen, I've been hanging out with dudes my whole life because I'm a stud. I ain't never seen a man complain about women this much because they too busy getting laid. They ain't got time to talk no shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I noticed that people who don't, they got an awful lot to say about what women be doing and shit.
They've got time on their hands.
They got time. I'm too, I be so deep in it. I don't have no time for that. What are we talking? What you mean? Ain't nothing wrong with women. They beautiful.
Who do you think are the main ones that patron the OF pages and keep those people on the top? You know what I'm saying?
They gotta go.
It's the ones that ain't getting it.
Rock solid.
The ones that's online arguing. The ones that can't get into the pieces. They gotta go somewhere to get they rocks off. Oh, well,
you gotta look inward because there's something about them that makes them not desirable to a woman. And I've seen a lot of women date some very sketch individuals as men. So obviously you gotta be the bottom of the fucking barrel. Honestly, you got to be the worst.
Like Trump paying for a top-notch HO named Melania.
Did y'all see that clip that they had way back in the day when he did the interview and he was married to Marla Maples, but Melania was sitting there?
It was at the Kentucky Derby or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, what you doing next to that married man?
Talk about Austria.
Hey, but did you notice her English sound pretty goddamn good in that video? What the fuck happened?
Who gives a fuck about Christmas?
She just doesn't want to talk. That's what I feel. I feel like she was like, I just don't want to talk.
The chimney.
The chimney.
Down the chimney.
Bro, she sounds like Natasha from Bullwinkle. Ain't nobody got time for her. Look, I clocked her. I know a Trixie and Ronnie when I see one. She just wanted to get this money. She never wanted him to be president. She is so fed up. Let me tell y'all what's gonna happen. We could bet $20 on the table. Once he gets out, she gonna leave him. We gonna get a Lifetime movie and a tell-all book. Okay.
Many part 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, my mom, it's gonna be called like How I Survived, like some shit like that or something. She just wanted to be a regular gold digger, and he just fucked up her whole plan. She mad as hell.
Was she still sitting?
She was gonna ride, but that second time, she like, come on.
It's giving Queen Cersei. She's giving Queen Cersei.
They see her face on election night when she won. She didn't even smile. She was frowning. She was like, "Oh no." He's like, there's no way.
Yeah, she's still top notch. She's still just sitting up there in the White House, just fiddling with her hats and doing stuff like that. She ain't doing nothing. She got him out there working and doing everything. She may not leave him because she's still top notch. She pimping the shit out of the presidency. From Slovenia, she pimping the shit out of the presidency right now. Got him out there running across the country.
That room. She was gone ahead and gone to greener pastures. That's all she wanted.
But the big black hat she wore for the inauguration where we couldn't even see her face. That's what
that was a fume hat, wasn't it? That was something they wear at fumes, wasn't it?
She looked like she should have been in a. She looked like she should have been in a Dick Tracy film. Okay, she was looking like one of them Tomcats from Looney Tunes and shit. You remember they had a little mob coat with a little hat on and shit. That's what she looked like.
Yeah, that's my shit though. Yeah,
She ain't want to do none of this shit. I know Trixie and Ronnie when I see one, and I don't feel sorry for her, but I just that little speech she gave. Did y'all see the tea about that on X though? Wow.
Yeah, there's some people
the recording
making
of
mad
Epstein or Easteen. Can we say that on now?
Leading the country.
Just gonna say
America just didn't want to recognize that we got two sea heads who frontal lobes are blown out leading the country. They've been blowing up that stuff up their nose for over 25, 30 years right now. They come for wealth and they con evangelists and Christians and they're thinking they were supporting them. This is America, y'all. This shit crazy as hell.
Like my granddad used to say, literally, I didn't think it would get like this.
Built off of
we are, it can be so obvious because it seemed like that. Like my granddad used to say, you keep your dirt under your nails. They used to keep their dirt under their nails a little bit better, but now it's just like out in the open. Like,
because no one's doing anything.
So you doing this right here?
No one's doing anything about it. So
imagine how the arguments and the chaos underneath that powder that they were having in those mansions all these years, and these motherfuckers are leading America. This shit is unbelievable.
Because I remember last time, if y'all ever did see me in other lives,
only in America. What Nino say? Only in America.
I will give y'all a heads up because I remember last time, if y'all ever did see me in other lives, last year I was like, hey y'all gotta get all the stuff before October and they shut down. So I'm gonna give y'all one last warning because that's the last time I'm gonna speak on it. Make sure you are 2A down. Please get as many canned goods as you can. Please find water and get all the food you can. If you have a deep freezer, please get copious amounts of water and get all the food you can. If you have a deep freezer, please, I think if you put it in the deep freezer without like vacuum sealing it, it only lasts like a year for like beef and stuff. But if you vacuum seal it, it'll last longer. Just giving y'all a heads up. It's about to get hot in the summer.
Round up some people to go half on. Hey man, I was thinking about getting me trying to round up some people to go half on the cow. Yeah, because
you might want to talk to Chuckin because he did that.
Yeah, I'm willing to throw 15.
In the Midwest.
I don't care how many ways we split the cow up.
In the Midwest, you can get you a quarter cow out here for like maybe.
I got it right here. I get that prime rib right here.
And it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best meat you've ever eaten in your life, and you're gonna wonder what the fuck you're buying in the grocery store.
This nigga got the whole goddamn cow on the fucking smoke.
Hey, that's because of Trump's tax cuts for us wealthy folks. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to tell people this dude done robbed working class people for our wealth with the tax reduction he gave us, but nobody wanted to listen to me. This is my breakfast this morning.
Hey, you full of shit. You know that. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and he talking about some damn.
The only thing I regret is that I didn't do that PPP or have somebody else do it because ain't nobody got caught.
I'm on the West Coast though. I'm on the West Coast. I ain't full of shit, man.
Yeah, that is right. I forgot you was on the West Coast, so it's only like what?
Damn, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 10.
12 by me. I'm in the Midwest though. I'm in good old Wisconsin. Good old Wisconsin. Y'all like talk shit about my state all the time, but when shit hit the fan, baby, guess who got all the beef? Who got all the cows? Who got all the deer? Who got all the natural water resources?
Hey, boss, you better come to Texas, motherfucker. We got it all too now.
Y'all motherfucking dry ass place ain't got no goddamn
Dry,
water.
hey
What's wrong
man,
with
I ain't say West Texas, motherfucker. I said Texas, Southeast. Ain't dry shit around this motherfucker. Now you go to El Paso, you go to what's that?
El
Killeen
Paso just sound dry.
and Midland, Texas, and all that shit.
That sound dry than a
dry like a motherfucker, man. Shit, that's where I'm at.
I'm from the mill. I'm
Dallas?
commentary. I'm from the mill. I was born in Milwaukee. I live up north now. I live in the Fox Valley area around all the beautiful water and quiet stuff. But nah, I'm from the mill. And if you from the mill, you already gonna know when I say this, baby. I'm from 21st and Center. What's happening? Well, I'm about this life.
Milwaukee? That's the mill, right?
Milwaukee. I'm from 21st and Center. I'm from the hood.
Hey man, Con, all that shit so close, man.
Racine, Wisconsin. How far is that from Milwaukee?
It's that close. Racine's not far at all, depending on who's driving. It could take you like 40 minutes. Like I think it's supposed to be like an hour away, but it depends on who's driving. I'm just gonna say that.
Man, I understand how them niggas held big cities down back in the day with Chicago and Milwaukee being so fucking close. That shit crazy. You be in a whole nother state, just going a couple exits down the interstate. I don't know nothing about
us in Chicago are cousins, and we be beefing with each other from time to time. But Milwaukee is probably one of the most, I would say, hands down. I've been a lot of places. Milwaukee is fucking dangerous. Okay, you could get in the wrong traffic interaction and lose your life very quickly. Somebody will get out that car and pop. Like you better know somebody. You better be, you know what I'm saying? You better be careful. You better know somebody before you be hanging out in the hoods in Milwaukee. Like you better know somebody.
They
don't talk about Milwaukee on the news like that. They blame all that shit on Chicago.
I know it's sad. It's really sad because Chicago's crime rate actually dropped drastically in the past couple years.
But a lot of people don't understand why it's strategically like that. They want the equity inside of Chicago. That's it. That's why they want that. That's why they fight for it so hard.
And it's mostly trying to make Chicago's crime rate has dropped drastically. Chicago has a lot to offer, and it's mostly trying to make it look bad to devalue its worth so that rich people can come in and buy it.
Right. Same thing with Minnesota. Minnesota has a thriving economy too, and property's cheap as hell. They're strategically trying to take it over for the same reasons.
Now that with Compton too, I think like at first nobody wanted to be in Compton. Now Compton has good it's prime real estate. Now Compton is like they're trying to gentrify it. I be keeping track of all of black communities in the United States.
Right.
Tell people because I help mentor people. So it's like that's pretty much what they're doing. So it's like I always tell people because I help mentor people who are on the other side of the law. Hey, vibes. I used to be that too. So I help them by telling them just common sense things like, hey, you know what? You know why the Italians never had a problem? Why the Irish never had a problem? Why the Russians never had a problem? Because they put all their money into their neighborhood. Because who was going to tell anybody anything? That's how they kept it going. They gave back to their community and their community protected.
Period. Man, it's like the more conversations we have daily, it always come right back around and shit. We was just talking about this shit yesterday, Con and Tone. Y'all remember that?
I didn't know. I wasn't here.
No, but the conversation is about the black community and why is it that we as a black community shouldn't be as strong as these other communities? And the reason is because we doesn't put back in our community.
That's a fact because
that's a fact.
Me being in this city right here that I'm in for 44 years now, and knowing that this is a city that had things like black hospitals and things like that, and now we're only statues on riversides and you know and memories here, and you see all these folks coming in. It's like, damn, Tampa used to be a thriving spot. Like, why couldn't we take all those PPP loans and all those tax frauds that we had? Why couldn't we buy a community back? Why have we seen it just slip away? Like, shit, when I say this used to be a black city and it now, you know, it's not Latinos still got it, but you don't see the black neighborhoods no more. Not at all. You see all Spanish neighborhoods. I ain't mad at them.
That's the reason why, I love being, I'm sorry, you gotta hype up DMV a little bit. Like I said, the neighborhood that I live in, my neighbors to the left, black woman, right, black family, cross street, black, all the way up the road. We have pockets of other cultures or, you know, YT people here and there and stuff. They're in the neighborhood, but it's so many of us. When we even go to the pool, I can tell we get on their last nerves, but it's thriving. But what I love is outside of that community, we have another community. Again, lots of black folks, but you have pockets where they're the minority here in our area. And then, like I said, I've said this before, the school my son goes to, one of them, it's a Title I school. So my taxes benefit lower middle class, low class, or whatever it is, however you say that, next level down. They benefit from all of that. We're all benefiting together. When I come up here to the local Food Lion, I'm going to see everywhere from the homeless person, mental health, to somebody bougie driving a Tesla. That's how we live here. So, and I think that model works because now we're all helping each other out here.
Who ain't helping people out is wealthy people in America.
Showing off.
The most wealthy
helping people out is wealthy people in America. The most wealthy of our society just came back and grifted working class people out of their money. They reduced my federal income tax from 39.6 to 37%. I did $4 million this year, so I actually took probably 2 people's salaries out of the marketplace, just me alone. I'm just one person. So it's interesting to me to see people who are working class vote for Republicans. If you vote for Republican and you're in working class, you're an idiot.
Thank you.
Somebody tells them the truth. Thank you.
And do you think that, I want to say an idiot, but just not as financially literal as you are? And they've been kind of, bamboozled.
No, stop giving them out. They're an idiot. We have way too much technology to tell them that they voting for the wrong team. I told somebody, if you don't make over $150K a year, matter of fact, with Republicans now talking about if you don't make over $400K a year, baby, they're not talking about your broke ass.
Hey, I'm gonna cut up this prime rib off of MAGA's money right now. So what's happened is that TCJA happened in 2016, 17 or something like that. They had plenty of time to realize that the money was coming up to the top, but they chose not to, right? And because of that, they're causing themselves hardship. And, it's kind of one of these lessons learned, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you just, and I hate for people in America, ooh, that looks delicious.
But that's what capitalism.
I hate for people in America to experience hardship because of their ignorance, but that's what capitalism is, right? So the people who didn't vote for it, they don't need hardship. They deserve to have more. But it's their community full of idiots who decided to, again, vote for wealthy individuals. So, when they're complaining about things happening, all their hardship they're facing, just understand that's American capitalism. And it's up to the people in that category to one day say, we've had enough, right? We've had enough. So I'm going to enjoy this prime rib on this MAGA dollars.
But this one costs about the other one I have in my
it costs about, I have a much larger one, but this one costs about $250. The other one I have in my freezer is about $500. So while they haven't even tasted beef in a long time because they can't afford it, I just like to remind them that, it's not just wealthy white people who benefit. It's anybody who has green. And my black ass has green. So I like to thank MAGA for sacrificing your your wealth and everything for my black ass.
We also have to make sure during this time, we as a Black community are looking into things that we're able to invest in still. So although some people, most people are disappointed about the way things are going, there are still stocks out here. And I know you're saying some people trying to, get, food on the table may not think about stocks, but I think back when it was just me and the boys and I was humping it on my own. I opened up a stash account for $5. I don't care if I shoot $5 on the stock and I still ain't got a full stock yet. I'm in the game. And I think we need to talk about that a little bit more. You're not selling out if you actually look into the system and figure out a way that you can get into the game. So at this time, I do think that we need to pay attention to how we can get into the game.
Piece of land, my house, whatever the hell. My plan is to buy a piece of land, have my little house on it, whatever the hell I decide to do, because I'm already retired, and then just garden and just go ahead and sell my shit. Because that's all a cash transaction. I would never have to report that to taxes like I don't when I make beats for rappers. And I think I'll be fine because as long as I have a sustainable source of where I can go and install solar panels, so if there's no power and electricity anymore, it don't matter to me. I still have power. Or if I can grow my own vegetables and my own crops, it doesn't really matter. If I go to a grocery store, I can grow it myself, and it's probably gonna be better. And get you a chicken coop, because all you need is a chicken coop with 3 chickens, maybe 3 or 4 in there, and you can eat for a lifetime. Y'all meet me at the rally point.
If we get to that point, I'm out of here.
All right.
I'm gone.
Meet me at the rally point. Meet me in Wisconsin, and I got you. We'll be all right.
Okay.
Because we got everything here.
That's where we're headed, guys. Like the book of Eli.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, because I don't have to right now because I'm not in whatever environment. But no, I could build a tent out of nothing. I know how to fish. I know how to fillet fish. I know how to hunt. I know how to do all that shit. I just don't have to right now. Everybody loaded. But I will warn y'all, everybody in this state, especially if you come up north, everybody loaded. Everybody loaded, fam. You gonna see an 86-year-old grandma pop out with you on with a 12 gauge. Everybody packing.
Really only on the East Coast and kind of West Coast. It's almost where the pew culture isn't on the main coast. I want to say it, but it isn't out as front. It's almost sneaky on those sides. It's taught on the main coast, but in the the Midwest through the South, it's I come from. We kind of had it. It's taught and appreciated. In the East, or at least where I come from. we kind of had it in the Midwest, but that East Coast, if you pulling it out, you're using it and just pulling it out.
Well, y'all gotta keep in mind though.
That's not just
I'm armed to the teeth, so.
I like to remember
that culture. It's almost respected in the South, in some parts of the Midwest, where you learn that culture at a young age, how to respect it.
I will say I learned how to respect the pew at a very young age, but my dad told me, don't pull it if you're gonna use it. If you ain't using it, don't pull it.
That's just gonna make it a lot of cats will pull it out, and even pew in the air, that's just gonna make the next man hotter. And I think it's that type of mentality. That's the difference between the East and the Midwest. What I just thought.
I'd like to remind everybody too that as things swing far right.
I'd like to remind everybody too is that as things swing far right, they also swing far left. So in this next turn, there's going to be economic viability for most working class people. During those time frames, if you work and save your money, when you come into the next, I guess you would say Republican run era where we just, crush all the people who spent their money in the past time frame, you would do better. You will actually gain more. So Republicans act on what I like to say, there's a bell curve that exists. Democrats typically provide jobs, create economic viability for working class people. But as Republicans, it's like a job that we come in
during downturn.
And those who spent their money, they go through harder levels of hardship during downturns, right? And also, it also is a way for us to kind of come in and just swipe up their wealth because they've already been failing. So like these homes are hitting foreclosure. Wealthy people just come in and buy it for cheaper, and then when things turn around, they make 3 and 4 times their money. So basically, all I'm saying is that you have to be economically responsible in America.
Basically, what you're saying is, during democratic terms, most people need to take advantage of saving their money while the economy is somewhat good, because we know if Republicans get the economy again, the economy is going to go upside down and we're going to face hardship. But from the savings that we do during democratic terms, we're likely able to survive and make off fairly well.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying. And you know what? That makes perfect sense, because it made perfect sense, because when we had Biden, everything was fairly cheap. Credit was good. You didn't have all those deductions coming out on credit cards and shit, because the Republicans they exploit the hell out of us. They do. On every turn they get. I got what you're saying. That makes sense.
Oh Lord, that's Joe Smo. I haven't seen him.
New panelist, it seems like. Hello, Joe Shamir.
Oh Lord, that's Joe Smo. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Hey Joe.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Topic, so you don't know.
What's the topic, sir? You don't mind me? I can't see it.
Oh no, we just been talking. We just been chatting about like community and life, and at one point we was talking about relationships and parent-child relationships, stuff like that.
I got one.
What's going on with you, Joe? You finally coming over to our side?
No.
You need a topic. I got one for you.
All right.
So I'm under the assumption that everybody.
But if you want to just add, then we'll go off of what you said.
Yeah, so I'm under the assumption that everybody on here is a Democrat, or
No, I'm not.
He's
independent Democrat. Like
he's getting ready to talk about the
I'm a
politics.
progressive Dem.
So P and Con, did you see my message? So I've had my coffee, and just tell me, Con, to go on mute. I'm your sister.
Joe, let Joe.
Say go on mute, commentary, and I'll shut up.
Okay. But go ahead. You want to ask something? Or Joe, let Joe get off.
Joe, why haven't you came to decide with your people?
I'm always on my people's side, but there is a distinction between who is your people. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, has no relegation or room for the black man. That's
Has anybody
heterosexual.
ever told
That
you
is
like
that wants to lead his family. That is
he sound like Judge Joe Brown.
leadership material. That is want to be viewed as strong and virile, and
JB Harris.
an example for his sons. Those black men aren't welcome.
What about
in the
JB
Democratic
Harris
Party?
and Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker? They're not welcome.
They're not leading black people. They are fake representatives of black people, because you can't tell me one thing that they've tried to garner, particularly for black men. Especially the recognition of being a heterosexual and being qualified to lead the black race.
Provide a leader over to
Standing up there in a suit is not it, bitch.
I blame Perry, because Perry spoke this into the damn air. Perry, you said it.
This is what I'm saying.
It's Perry's fault.
Really. I mean, before you had to go back. But this is what I'm saying. So wait. Right? Let me just ask them one question. Then you had to support Harris because she had an initiative for black men, right?
What, to give them $50,000 and let them grow the devil's lettuce?
No, I'm just saying.
No, man.
Why do we keep trying to push Harris off on them? I don't understand that. At this point, they were not going to vote for
I'm
her.
just saying what he just said, though. Like, the Democrat Party didn't offer anything for heterosexual black males. I just gave him a case where the candidate offered something for black males. And he said it wasn't
Think about that.
What did Trump offer in response to that?
What did he?
An opportunity.
No.
You see, let me tell you why.
That was the opportunity. Was
I'll explain it to
what did he offer? I'm talking about what even concepts. I'll even give you just concepts. What concept did he have specifically for black men?
He offered an opportunity for black men to join the fray of being American.
Kamala Harris wanted to speak.
Kamala
That's-
Harris
how
and
much
Kamala
did that pay a
Harris
year
wanted to
compared to the
speak for you.
50,000?
Kamala Harris wanted to speak
Sorry,
for you.
let me finish, y'all.
Donald Trump wanted you to speak for yourself.
American.
See, that's what people don't realize.
Sorry, let him finish, y'all.
Equal opportunity and equal outcome are two different things. The Democrats want to guarantee you an equal outcome, and that's impossible. All they can give you, wait a minute, all they can really give you, and be real with it, is an opportunity. And most people miss opportunities because it's ugly, dirty, and dressed like hard work. Most opportunity lies in the things that other people will not do. We have to, as black men, get out and do the groundwork and leg work for our race. But what they do is they tell you, well, the black woman is the most educated and all of that. But there is a natural progression in life between male and female. And as a black man, we are the only race where we let black women be our leader. I land my
That's
plane.
not true. Who's the leader of Germany?
Wait, did what's his name? Did send him over here? Are we getting
I was trying to warn y'all because I go on political panels and
You
he's
let
on
every
there.
black woman know
Hey,
that you are
Joe.
not a strong black man. When you are afraid of an educated black woman, you just let them know your fragility is real. You a mediocre.
Who's
ass
afraid
nigga.
of educated black women?
You are.
No.
You are.
You know why?
are,
You know
because
why
if
I'm
that's
not?
the only because if you want to be an American that bad, that you
Uh-huh.
got to put a black woman down
No.
and talk about her
Who did I put
education.
down?
You
Who did I put down?
If you are afraid of an educated black woman, that means you lack something as a black man. That means you
No,
a
I
non-educated
didn't put any black
man,
woman down.
and you lack fucking certainty on who you are.
I
That's
didn't put
what you
black
do.
women down.
Come
You
on,
know
why you
what?
keep
Let me
saying,
tell you
listen,
something.
brother, move past that and talk about something else because it seems you want to harp on that.
Well,
because
tell me
that's
how
what
I'm
you
wrong.
did. But bro, it doesn't even
Tell
matter
me
if
how
they're
I'm
the
wrong.
It doesn't even matter. Listen. The reason why there are educated black women and the reason why there are so many of them because dog ass niggas like us couldn't stay in the fucking household and take care of them. So they had to become the backbone of the black family. That's what the fuck they had to do. So
I
stop
always been the
goddamn talking.
backbone of
Hold on,
mine,
stop
and
talking
so
about.
was my
So
father.
stop talking. So stop talking about your mammy and stop talking about your grandmammy and putting them women on pedestals and take care of them. That's what you do. You
Sir?
stop always whining about your fragility, homeboy.
Fragility, spell it.
Man, listen
Talking
here, boy.
that
You a
shit.
frail ass.
I
You a
hadn't
frail
downed
ass
anybody.
nigga. Like
I
I
hadn't
said.
downed anybody. I hadn't downed anybody. See, there's
You
the
frail as
folly in
hell,
what you're
homeboy.
talking about.
If Trump made you feel like an American, you was never American. You might as well you that scene from Belly that we unseen. You will turn on your own kind in hopes of getting ahead, homeboy. You that same.
You mean like you
William,
just did?
No, you are William.
So you can see
O'Neal.
popular on
you
TikTok?
Are, you are William O'Neal. That's who you are, brother.
Everything you said,
You are
everybody
a
who
William
heard it is
O'Neal.
dumber. Everybody who heard what you said is a little dumb.
I know. Joe, you said Donald Trump gave y'all a chance to be Americans, but what we just saw what happened with those farmers. The head of the black farmers went to DC. He was supposed to be in that meeting when they had that discussion about that $12 billion. They closed the door in his face. How we know is because he around here talking about it right now. He a black man just like you, voted for Donald Trump, went there, right? And they told him to his face that this is not DEI, right? Bottom line is, it's to say that he gave you all a chance to be Americans when he won't even let black farmers have a piece of that $12 billion and to sit at the table is crazy. And then Joe, you and I have had a conversation about this, and as we discussed before, people do what's best for their household. It does not make a man less than if he has an educated woman, a woman that chooses to go to work, because I don't know if you you remember you insulted my husband that time because I held a CDL and stuff like that, and then I turned my camera on and showed you my vehicle show and said I'm doing just fine. He takes care of me. I enjoy working, and then you had to say, oh, I'm glad he does it, and as he should, and things. Joe, you have got to stop doing that to our community. You do that to your own community. You do, Joe. You do, and you know you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, Joe, and you have to stop that, right? And then you lean into heterosexual men all the time, and we've had this discussion too, Joe, because I've asked you, what are Black conservative men obsession with the community, right? And it pivoted into something about children. But if you are a provider and protector, can't nobody get close to your kids to indoctrinate them if you're doing what you're doing as a man, as a protector. So that shouldn't even be on the table. Because I consider myself socially conservative, even though I'm politically progressive, right? And so you can't get up here and say, oh, the arguments of heterosexual men and things of that nature when you know the community is not a problem within our community. If you are securing yourself as a man, as a provider, as a protector, that wouldn't even come into play. And so I don't understand, Joe, why we can't keep having these recycled conversations when Black men are the most involved fathers that we have, right? We know Black women are the most intelligent per capita. If you don't have a problem with these things, then why are you looking for a white man to make you an American when this same white man you voted for has shown us time and time again that he thinks we are DEI, which is ignorant because he doesn't even know what DEIA is and what it has done for everyone in this country, right? And he's showing you time and time again that he does not value us as a people. He didn't even value the man that voted for him and that campaigned for him, didn't get that farmer a dime or a seat at the table. So Joe, why are you still championing this stuff? Are they paying you?
Are they paying me? First of all, rehashing any conversation we had is only so you can misconstrue it. The thing about I'll let you talk. Okay. The thing about it is this. We don't expect anything of our Black representation, but to be Black. These people, I've watched them for over a year and a half intently. Anytime civil rights was spoken of, it was for migrants or T people or the LGBTQ. Black people aren't being fought for in any way. Any rally they have, any rally that's been had is for no kings. And there's no Black people there. Wait a minute.
I want to hear what
Black people are not being fought for by the people that we depend on to fight for us. Now, as a father, and I'm not bragging, but you as a parent, what you go out in the world and do, you go out and do things you may not want to do. So you can take care of your family. And when you're a leader and political leader, it's the same thing. You're supposed to go out and garner things from people that you don't like for the people that you love. These Black people aren't doing that. What they do is they do like this. They do like this man down here going to all of that nonsense, neck rolling, anger, and that's all Black people are allowed to be is anger, and then think they're expressing themselves for the better. Meanwhile, we don't get nothing. We've been wanting stuff for 100 years that the immigrants done got in 4 months, and y'all are ridiculous. I'll land my plane.
I just literally just said, can I say something real quick? Real quick. So for me, Joe, it's all about tangibles for me at the end of the day. I don't know if you're looking for this perfect person who's going to do something for Black people. There's going to be Black policy. They've already made it clear it was never going to say Black policies. They're never going to do it, especially after everything that's going with DEIA and all this unconstitutional. Black folks it's not going to happen. So the civil rights, mine is tangible. Black folks switched over, right? You had the civil rights. We were going through a war on poverty, WAR on poverty, right? There were YT people and YT women, when their husbands went off to the war, they were helping them out, make sure they were good. They were putting things in place for us where we weren't able to earn if we were in certain fields of work, our agriculture, or if we were housekeepers and things like that. When MLK was locked up, JFK went and brought him out. We can go on tangibles. And so for me, it's about tangibles. I know you want this perfect situation, but I think what we're really waiting on you is to tell us the tangibles that help the entire community, because you're not getting no black policy over there right now either. It's still about tangibles. That's my whole point. It was all about tangibles, and it will continue to be about tangibles. And black folks need to get into politics and infiltrate the system to make sure we get our tangibles. And you talked about Cory Booker, but he is the one that was pushing that farmers bill that went. He was. We can go down and look at that. Even the whole reparation thing, he was pushing that. So it's like, give us examples. To say they ain't doing nothing, you then have to counteract what we're saying and give us examples. And the whole community, not the first step, the black men who were locked up in jail. And that matters. Don't get me wrong, y'all. But let's get past that point. Give me some more.
I would just like to remind
Mention the
y'all.
first step, because I've never been to jail. I've never been arrested.
Hold on, Joe.
I don't know anything about that.
So
But
I
the
want
biggest-
everybody to. I want y'all to. I just want to remind everybody who we're speaking to, because a lot of people forget. Joe is the guy. As soon as you walk in the black man, as soon as you walk into the warehousing facility, he the one turn his back on you, going to tell white folks about it. Okay?
I'm the owner.
That's
the type of black man I am. I'm the owner. You sweep it. Just remember that.
You see, y'all hear what I just
I'm
said?
just telling you.
Y'all hear what I just said?
Listen.
Y'all hear what I just
Listen.
said? So, secondly,
Rich, he don't want to go announce. Hey, we got
Y'all
another big end.
go ahead and
Why
be
not?
friends. Go ahead and be friends somewhere you can't be friends.
He
You can't
just
be
told us
friends
who he
on
was
TikTok.
again. I just like to remind everybody
That's fine.
who we're speaking to, because no matter what we say to him, it doesn't matter. He don't like black folks.
Well, I had a question for him. Okay, he's got a call, but I think he can still hear me. I wanted to ask him, before I accuse you of being on your accountability campaign, because I've heard you speak at other platforms. Do you feel black people need to be more accountable?
Accountable to what?
In general, to everything you've been talking about us about.
I think we need to be more accountable for who we pick as leaders. And make those leaders accountable, because they're not being accountable. They get these positions and they want nothing for us. Did you not understand what I'm saying?
No, I do.
Tell
That's
me
why
what
I called it.
y'all
Hold
love
on,
Jasmine
Joe.
Crockett, right?
I had a part
Tell
two.
me what she
I had a
asked
part two
for black people.
I had a part two to my question. I think that's what, from what I interpreted, what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Be that way. That's fine. Yes, we F up a lot. I get where you're going with that. You know what I'm saying? I always say you sound like Judge Joe Brown, because he's big on the accountability thing. So I know a lot of men that think the way you think. The problem is what she mentioned. Where's the encouragement? If everything out your mouth, and if I was another race looking in, it's no different from the slave master talking about us, or from the white races. That's why they're calling you what they're calling you.
Lack is
When
an encouragement.
do you encourage? When do you give
Lack
examples?
of having
When
something
do you
should
do
be an
something?
encouragement.
You're just complaining and talking
Lack
about
of peace in our community should be encouraged.
it. Okay, so what are your ideas? What are you doing in the community? That's the issue with your accountability campaign.
We can't stay on the fringe of being American citizens. Someone has to step up and stake a claim that black Americans are here to be represented. We want our piece of the pie, because we have given so much to what this nation is. What we do now, we have guys like
Joe, have you read
this guy
HR
who will
414?
probably work at Burger King telling us what's cool.
Joe, have
Man,
you
we
read
don't want
HR
nothing from the white
414?
man. Meanwhile, he ain't got nothing.
Joe, have you read HR Res 414?
It doesn't matter.
So you haven't
I've
read
read many other things. There's a
So the
library full
Democratic
of
Party.
shit I
So
done
Joe,
read.
the Democratic Party. I recommend everybody reads this. Go read HR Res 414. It's a specific piece of legislation brought forth for Black people in America, descendants of chattel slavery, to have reparations.
Man,
brought
that'll
forth by
never
the Democratic Party. Hold on.
It's not
Joe.
gonna happen.
Chill out, Joe. Brought forth by the Democratic Party. Then I also, at the same time, afterwards, I want you to Google search Republican and reparations, and view every single link that you'll find underneath it in opposition of all the progress that the Democratic Party is doing to try to achieve us reparations. So when you hear this CO saying all this stuff, he's an idiot. He's an
You
idiot. He
think
hates
white
black
people
folks.
gonna give you billions of dollars for what? For your ancestors? And I'm a coon. Man, go get a job and take care of yourself.
Calm down.
Come on, dog.
Yes.
I'm a coon. Man, I hate you type of black folks.
But
Sorry, what did you say, sir?
And you heard him right, Tony. And there it is.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? Listen, I listen to you talk and I find you very problematic because the majority of the people who commit crime here by 69% is Caucasian people. So your whole framework is idiotic. You say that they have never done anything for the Black community, but they have. But if you were that into politics, you would know every time they try to do something for the Black community, they are blocked by the provisions of the Constitution stating that you cannot make one policy to benefit one group. So just I don't care what you're talking about. You sound as
Have
slow
you
as
ever
you
heard
talk.
of the
You
Asian
sound as
crime
slow as you
bill?
talk.
You ever heard of the Asian
Hold on a second.
LGBTQ crime
Guys,
bill?
this is the
You ever
host.
heard of that?
Have you ever heard of the host talking?
Y'all are fools.
Have you ever heard of the host talking?
Talk.
Thank you. Got a couple new guests, or one of them left. But let Cheddar Boy get in here real quick, man. How are you doing? Would you like to have a convo?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I love you, my melanin brethren and sisters. I just specifically want to come up here and read something for Joe, even though he's going to dismiss it. This is something he said earlier, right? So I just want you to pay attention.
Take your mama her keys.
I want you to pay attention. Several prominent Black participants, politicians, and civil rights leaders spoke at or participated in Black Lives Matters, BLM rallies, and related racial social protests, particularly following the murder of Joe, we know who, right? And these are Congressman John Lewis. These are Congressman Jeremiah Ellison. These are people like Al Sharpton. And the list goes on and on and on. Just because you haven't taken the time to know what these Black politicians are doing doesn't mean they're not doing it. You spoke about Jasmine Crockett. What has she done? She was a very junior member of Congress that only had the power of her vote. She had no legislative authority. She can't even introduce a bill because of her seniority. But you sit up here and criticize people for doing only what they can do, expecting them to do something for us that the whole Congress have to do. Secondly, you always mention LGBTQIA as if Black people aren't a part of the LGBTQIA, right? Then you also mention the Asian crime bill. It's not the Asian crime bill, it's the hate crime bill. That includes all people. If a white man punched me in the mouth and called me the N-word, he falls under that category, right? So it's not particularly, I don't need second help. I mean, I don't need to be treated like I'm a second-class citizen and I need special treatment. Treat me as an American citizen. The president don't have to make a bill particularly about me because I am an American.